Hail, hail, welcome to the Homebhoys Live podcast. It is Friday the 29th of November. It is election day here in the Free State. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna, joined by the clacking fingers of Scott McCorry.
Yo, what's happening, Joe?
What's happening? You good?
I'm all right, mate. All right. Ready to
rock.
Funny.
It's funny, seconds before we do this podcast, we get to look at each other for about 5 minutes and then we go, ooh, turn them cameras off. For fuck. Look at that fucking that face. Speaking of people who should be unseen, we have got a man with us who we have now. I think it's safe to say that we can refer to this man in a different kind of way. I think this is what we should start his intro with.
This is Simon Templar.
The man we're now referring to as a saint, Mr. Liam Power.
I'm glad you said what that was. I had no idea at all. So.
Who knows what he's doing? Who knows where he is? The man is in the wind, but here he is back with us.
Just don't fucking mention it.
Guys, just don't talk about it. Don't talk about Liam Club.
Back on terra firma, mate. Back on terra firma. Let's leave it at that. That's all that needs to be said.
That's all. You know what? Too much has been said. I'm already closing the windows. Well, how you keep, brother? Good.
I'm good, Joseph. I'm good. Glad to be back. I can be slagged off to my face now rather than while I'm off the show. So we don't
say it behind your back.
I listen to it all. Remember, I've got it all written down in my little book.
It's written in the book. Fucking Rain Man is what we should call you. Book. You don't need a fucking book. Everything's fucking in that Rolodex mind of yours.
All noted.
Speaking of a man, it was cold last week, but now how's things played out? Are we in heat this week? Jay, I don't mean horny.
Did I not tell you mid-show, Linda?
I and did that suss it?
I don't know. It must have been the pipe must have been frozen or something. And I don't know. It's been working ever since. So there you go.
There you go. Linda Higgins does the DIY at home.
Let there be heat.
Let there be heat, Kelly. So we are back.
I'm all right, Joe, by the way.
I can always tell by your demeanor you're all right. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's not even a question, it's more of an assessment. You know what I mean? People meet you and they go like, is Jay all right? And they go like, oh, he's all right. Even if he's not already seems all right. You know what I mean? It's kind of listen, you just listen, that's the life you lead. I'm sorry to say that. I mean,
Jabo.
Yes.
Jason. That's a dog's name. Jason, that's a dog's name.
Okay, well on.
All right, so welcome to the weirdest part of the fucking show. So we no Marty Flynn tonight. Marty Flynn is apparently working himself to death. Marty Geldof. So we're gonna have to do some housekeeping with Marty tonight. But it needs to be said that housekeeping is, I mean, the Marty Geldof sale last week has had a phenomenal effect. I mean, we are now, I'd say, I'm looking at it right now, £145 off a £3,000 target. Now, that's 2 weeks. We've been pushing this 2 weeks.
I think, Joe, it's gone over £2,000 since you did the show last week, to be honest with you. I think was it last week?
It jumped from £950 last week to now what it is now.
There you go. £1,900 since last week. Incredible.
I mean, the generosity of people this time of year is amazing. I mean, when you go down some of the, like, I mean, not that I like to do this, but see, when you go on and check it out, like some of the amounts people donate are kind of going like, fuck me, that's incredible. I mean, and you kind of want to shit people out, but you also don't want to fucking spend your time going fucking like, thank you. Like, it's just amazing. I mean,
very humbling.
And you know what? One of the great things is it makes the conversations that we have, I suppose, with people, you know, and the network that we kind of work in terms of the, you know, identifying families and people. It makes them a lot more real at this point, because you realize, okay, we've got something to work with here. We know what we can do. You know, we know what kind of limits. You set certain limits on what you can achieve and what you can kind of sort of promise to people when it comes to that sort of like working with people in those sort of sectors. But yeah, I mean, I'm astounded. And let us go through the praises, because the praises, I suppose, have expanded somewhat. Liam, do you want to come in there a wee bit, or?
I can do them, or I thought you were doing them, Joe. Sorry, 2 seconds, mate. I can.
No, I can do them, no problem.
Yeah,
right?
you got it there, mate. If you can, I'm just sorry, I was in the middle of doing something else.
I have the list. Right? I have the list right here, right? So the first new praise. When I say new, this is up there with the John Higgins sticker queue. It's an ever regular. It's the cuddly bear of the Homeboys Christmas appeal. It's a Celtic canvas art wall mural from John O'Farrell, who long time friend of this initiative every single year. Next to that is the Raider Cup limited edition Elijah Craig official bourbon, which my sister gifted me. It's sitting behind me in this room again. If somebody doesn't get it soon, I'm gonna fucking neck the bastard, and that'll be the end of that. 2 Celtic kufiyas recently worn by Kneecap. Now the wording on that's pretty difficult because Kneecap didn't wear these and then give them to us. They're wearing the kufiyas that are being sold by a friend of ours, PJ from the show, who has a kufiyas. Like, I mean, if you see a green and white or a green, white, and orange kufiyah, that guy's probably met PJ, right? That's kind of how it works, right? A Celtic framed print from Social Recluse, Maradona framed print from the same place. 2 Club Celtic lounge tickets for St Mirren game on Sunday, January 5th. Adult and Shed ticket in next to the boys, game to be confirmed. Bottle of Bushmills, Black Push Irish Whiskey. Match ticket voucher for the Kano Foundation, 2 adults, 2 children. St. John Higgins sneaker queue, a cuddly toy. Celtic tour for a family of 4 from David McLaughlin. Again, needs to be lower down the list there so we can put it as a baby prize because it'll be giving.
Prize is a tour for a family of 8.
Maybe prize is 2 David McLaughlin's.
David will take that in the spirit of his fucking determined, then.
That's a better guy. That's a better man who can take a bit of stick. Club 67 lounge tickets for 2 league games. £50 food and drinks voucher for the Admiral Woods pub. 3 TV subs. Men's Ray-Ban sunglasses and ladies' Ray-Ban sunglasses. And I think that's it. And then
Joe, no, there is one more.
There's one more.
I did put it in the chat, but it's one of many messages that's completely ignored in there. So I will remind you of it. Mark from the Thornwood Bar, he's donating a selection of German beers and a bottle of Al Jimador tequila. He donated the rum. I think the rum set last year or something really nice.
So give me those details again, so I can type them in right now. So onto this list. So
selection of German beers and a bottle of Al Jimador tequila. I'll put it back in the chat again for you as well.
And Kev's trying to get hold of a signed signed with the team, so hopefully we'll get that added as well.
Yeah,
happy days.
Lots of regular contributors are supporting us again, which is massively appreciated.
Now, I've had contact from a guy today who's asking about sending money through a different means. I'll talk to you about that offline, but people are starting to make contact about the separate raffles in terms of.
We'll get them launched early in the week if it just turns on. But I'll get a post up and I'll get the both of them.
Yeah, because Jason, I've noticed that people have started donating now and quoting the handbag and stuff.
Well, that's fine because then they'll just get added to that. That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
So we'll sort that out.
Now I've shown that handbag picture around to a few of the female type, and there's been a lot of questions about going like, "Can you fix this for me?" I'm like, "Fuck's sake, love."
The exact same conversations in this very house.
Because I mean, last year's one was a big bright orange. I think I said at the live show, "Who wants to win this Protestant handbag?" Because I think we actually did a live ticket sale, didn't we, at the live show for the actual bag? Because like at that point we're going like fucking like Marty Fashion comes through with the proper goods. You know what I mean? And I said this year it was like it's black. It looks amazing. You're going like, you know what? If I was a woman, I'd want that too. I mean, or it's just insane if you're transsexual, far away.
Metrosexual, whatever sexual you find fits with handbags.
Standing sexual. Let's go. Yeah.
Can you be cansexual? I reckon I might be blessed cansexual. Guinness cansexual.
Just want to get fucked up. As usual, the chaotic start of this
Sexual
podcast.
cans.
Fuck's sake. So there's a bit of a list, as there might be sometimes, but again, a list means nothing. We've done the Christmas appeal again. That's you're going to hear that every single time. Now you're going to see a pin to our fucking posts on Green Sky on Twitter. Or whatever.
When are we thinking about doing the draw? About 2 weeks from now.
Let's look at some dates, right? Let's look at some dates here. Let's look at the calendar. Right? I would imagine the first week, or the last week before Christmas, which would be
That'd a bit tight getting them out, but so probably, I think maybe a week, no next Friday's show, but the following Friday, maybe draw it then.
See, I would think at the very earliest, the 13th of December. No,
Is that no? Then.
But nobody's expecting for Christmas Day. We're not fucking Santa Claus. I mean,
the only things we need to get out is the tickets, but they're not due till the start of January. So I think we could work around that. We can push. I would say the 20th maybe, but I'm not around. But the 20th would work. Probably get more money in.
See, I was thinking 20. I was thinking 23, but apparently Royal Mail apparently Postman Pat over here wants to get shit sent out before fucking Christmas Day.
So it's not easy getting that queue through a letterbox, let me tell you.
I was driving the other day for some reason. I had a flashback of somebody accusing us of fraud last week for signing fucking sneaker queues.
Fucking one queue I signed 28 years ago, and it's fucking followed me.
Haunted by the fraud.
Listen, as we said, Dicey, your signature is more valuable anyway. It fetches more money. So
he was playing in a tournament in Thailand at the time, right? And I did the raffle then and there. And then he got it the next day with his name on it. So you look at it.
Right. Let's talk though more about the fraudulent activities. We have a list, like I said a minute ago. What's on it is hearts. So obviously I wasn't there, and there's a lot of people not there because the fucking minuscule amount of tickets is insane. Who was there?
Me and Scott.
You and Scott were there. Liam, you didn't make it, no?
No.
So, who wants to go first then and tell us about the one, the ticket situation, and two, what's it like going to that smaller section and fucking trying to have a match experience?
Absolute shite. It's rubbish. But that's what it is. Scott, do you want to go first, mate?
Aye. As Jason says, I mean, you can't compare it to the Ibrox bollocks. In fairness, I mean, it's a lot more relaxed. It's basically, as I say, it's the exact same Hearts experience, except for there's a thirdies than usual, and fucking or even less. The whole, we know the script. You're paying fucking what 30 banger, and in front of you there's a fucking advertisement thing, and then on the right of you there's an advertisement, and it's just shite. And then you're looking around you and fucking. Their ends fucking practically did. But no, I got a lift through. Our bus was the running. I got a lift through, a few cans through, few cans over there in the game early enough just to save any shite after my last fucking escapades. And experience-wise, there's not really much to talk about, do you know what I mean? I'll tell you what's good though. See, when you look about, everybody who's there, in general, should be there. If that hopefully doesn't sound like being a cunt. Jason, you must have knew fucking loads and loads of folk there, and you know they're all proper Tims. So it's no like in the past where you've kind of been to these things and you don't fucking recognise fucking half a cunts. But
you're only saying that, Scott.
What's that?
You're only saying that because I wasn't there.
But No, I mean, so as Jason says, experience-wise, like I say, you can't compare it to the Ibrox thing's just bollocks right for the off, and the only redeeming feature about Ibrox is if you win. Whereas Hearts, you're no under the same pressure at all. Do you know what I mean? You can saunter up 5 minutes before kick off. Not the amount of fucking coppers and stewards wild for the fucking amount of us. Do you know what I mean? But and generally the experience is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's no. They're making my fucking bollocks with this platter, but that's what it is. What about you, Jabo?
Aye, slightly different, to be honest with you. Well, very different. We like a full day at it, and so we get the train up with back at 1, I think. So we get it was at 2. So we get to Edinburgh about 3. Me and Johnny Mackay. My mate Paul Brugge was on it as well, but he was behind enemy lines. His boss is a Hearts fan and got them with corporate. He's been in there a few times. So he was suitably attired and he jumped off the train at Haymarket to meet his boss. Me and Johnny carried on to Waverley where Sean was getting the train up. So we met Sean Waverley. Well, we're standing outside first of all and I met a lad I know for the Green Brigade walking out and I'm like, all right, you got to the game? Nah, got to the Christmas markets with the waiting. And you're like, oh man, just that's then tells you that like, obviously everybody's not going to the game is normal. So we had a pub sorted down the back of George Street, the Boston Bar. It was actually quite good. The singers on that, like pseudo-Irish pub, but it was actually all right. The rugby was on, so it was full of Hoorah Henrys to start with. And then they stuck the Spurs game on and the Hibs game. So there was a load of Hibbies in it, which was good. And so we had a good day in there. And then a couple of our mates that are Hibs supporters came and got a pint with us. And then we got a taxi for there, down to the ground. We went to the Murrayfield bar that was fucking empty, you know. And then we had one in the Roseburn before we walked in. But it was funny, we were in that Boston bar and Johnny Mackay loves Sunshine and Leith. So we're standing with a few Hibbies and they just went 1-0 up. And Johnny starts singing it. And next thing, the guy starts singing it. The boy who was playing all that just Irish folk music and stuff. So he starts singing it. So the full pub's getting it loud. And all these English folk are in it. They're loving it, right? So the pub is going bonkers singing Sunshine and Leith. The manager comes running down to a back room, panicking like fuck. No football songs, telling the guy singing. No foot. So it must be a touchy thing in Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean? When they stick that on in the pub. It must be like obviously if you got a squad of Jambos, I don't know, I'm not going to take too kindly to it. So aye, that was interesting. But that was a good wee day and then headed round at the game. But here was the thing, Scott, right? So me and Johnny are finishing a pint and everybody else had finished theirs. So like, we're walking round, so we just finished ours. And I reckon me and Johnny must have been 2 of the last Celtic fans to get in our end. So we've walked in and we've walked by, see that club, no, the ex-prison warders club or whatever, just at the corner. And they're all piling out. So me and Johnny are at the other side of the road, so they obviously clocked we're Celtic support. We didn't have any colours on, but they've obviously clocked that we're Celtic supporters. I have never had as much sectarian abuse in my life at a football game than I got there. And the amount of police that were standing there, and me and Johnny were laughing, and we're like to the coppers, what are you doing about that? Oh, don't worry, you'll win anyway. See the bile coming for them. Yeah, Catholic bastards, yeah, pedos, yeah, fiend. It was fucking vile, honest to God. And we were just fucking laughing. And you'd have fucking banjoed them if there wasn't a copper standing about. But there was 20 of them. And oh my God, it was horrific. I've never had it was as bad as that against Rangers. It was honestly vermin. So anyway, we get in the game and so we get in for kick-off and that was it. But we'll cover the game in a wee minute. But after the game was interesting. So we'd get the train right. So normally when you're walking back up to Haymarket, you're kind of team-handed. So it was me, Johnny and Sean. And we're walking along, and Magoo, God love him, man, Magoo got us a hair out because we were getting the train on the way back. Obviously, the office was shut by the time we got out. So we went to his car, got the cans, and just walks back down just as all the buses are leaving and all the cars are leaving. And before you know it, Everton had left. It's me, Sean, and Johnny walking up this wee dark road to Haymarket, and we're like, what the fuck's waiting us up here? When we get up, and there was no much happening. There's another 4 Celtic fans. I think it was 7 of us in total walking back up towards the train station. So we had about an hour to go before our train. So we went to that Malone's. That was bouncing. The Malone's in Haymarket. Have you been in that before? 2 floors.
No.
That was good. Aye, it was good. And the singer on up the stairs. The place was absolutely rammed. Quite a few folk in it with the hoops on. And aye, it was good. And so we had a couple of beers in there. Then made our way back into the station where Paul was there, his boss, who's a Jambo. So we're standing on the platform, and there's just loads of Jambos coming down, and we're obviously just. So what do you do in a situation like that? You just start belting out Sunshine and Leaf. Oh, they were fucking raging. Another thing, Ellie was on a day out with her pals that she was in Madrid with. She lived out in Madrid. So they'd had a wee meet up in Edinburgh. So I'm phoning her saying, you making this train? We're there now, Dad. I can tell she was just, we're standing there and the train's coming in like 5 minutes. So I'm phoning Linda. I'm like, well, I'll just need to miss this train. I'll need to get one into the tune and then we'll need to make our way back. And she goes sauntering into the station, 3 sheets to the wind. All right, yeah. So we're going back down the train. So me and Jory and Paul, we cargo on the train back down the road. It was good, great day, and brilliant result. But it was totally different. And at the game, just absolute shite. But I would agree with you. The 99% of the Celtic fans there, you knew their cootums. You know, they go everywhere.
See that club you're talking about?
Aye.
On the way out, somebody who was standing outside lobbed the bottle at the Celtic fans.
Well, we just got there after that because it all kicked off.
They lobbed the bottle when you saw the bottle smash, and this dude Wally in front of me ran and picked up a bottle and fucked it right. But he's picked up a bottle with that Copper fan right behind him. Right behind him. And I was like, mate. And he's fucked it and he's turned and he's like, oh, you're kidding on. The Coppers never moved. Never got out of that. There was about 4 Coppers in it. They never got out of that van once. And I'm going, that's wild, man. They should just sit there and law pings because the wee gate was, and it was a 4 or 5 guys going on, I'll knock your fucking teeth in. And then you must have saw. I walked by it. I was like, what are the Coppers doing? You know what I mean?
Aye, well, they must know what they're up to. Because I remember me and Mick McGuinness years ago were walking to the game, and we were kind of early in. It was the one that JP had said that there was going to be loads of fakes.
I remember that.
Aye, so we were in the game an hour before it, and fuck, what bed in, man. So we'd walked in again, but there was nobody coming at it, and all you heard in for it, the full lot, everybody hates Roman Catholics. We hate all that fucking, it was for one of the films, Train Spotting 2 or something like that. Aye. And they're all singing that, but fucking vermin. But aye. And obviously that wee squad of Hearts fans at the left-hand side of us, they must have had about 6 Red Horny Ulsters and about 10 Union Jacks between about 15 of them.
Aye.
But aye, get it up them anyway.
Indeed.
But onto the game, it was a bit of a game of 2 halves, wasn't it?
Just a fucking bit, mate.
Aye.
I was kind of almost certain we wouldn't score in the first half. I just felt like Hearts have that pluckiness about them. Like, I mean, they're not unbeatable. They can be torched, but they just they don't stand up well to tactics and pressure. I mean, because the first half, I mean, I thought we played decent, but they were just good enough.
Well, Hearts always fucking. Would you see, you try harders know the fucking right, but there's a determination in it, and as champions, you expect it, and you can't really fucking moan about it. I mean, fucking, we've all played football, we've all been in competition. When you're up against the best, you know you've got to be fucking better, else you can take a fucking hiding. I didn't think we were great. We seemed pretty slack. We seemed off it. We couldn't get Kyogo in the game. We couldn't get Engels in the game. Taylor couldn't find Maeda fucking defence-wise, we seem to be back to fucking passing it about each other. It wasn't great. The thing with Hearts, which I've noticed, if Hearts don't score, or in fairness, Kilmarnock was the same. If they don't take their chances, you've just got that confidence in you that they will punish you. Do you know what I mean? And I thought first off we were pretty damn poor. There's no two ways about it. However good we were in the second half, we were equally bad in the first half because we've set ourselves fucking high standards. I don't know the real reason behind it. Rodgers came out and said something about how Hearts pressed and we couldn't break it. So maybe Hearts deserve a fair bit of credit. But then obviously second half we take and get all the credit for fucking coming out. I didn't think there was going to be five goals in that game.
No, not at half time. And as I say, Shankland's been right after Boyle. His overall play was decent, but he just couldn't hit a coup in the arse with a shovel now. But they had a good couple of chances that they sick that they dispatched with a couple of them. And we were kind of poor in the midfield in the first half. Engels, I suppose we'll get to him. And I mean, he's a young boy, but Rodgers is persistent in playing him. And again, midweek and all. And I understand that you've paid the big fee for him, and I'm sure he will come good. You know, I'm not panicking or anything like that, but you should be playing in merit. And Paolo Bernardo definitely deserves the starting berth for me. But that aside, I just thought we were kind of off it in the first half, but by God, we came out in the second half, and I thought Celtic were brilliant. Goal for Kuhn. I don't know about you, Scott, but where I was sitting, it looked as if it hit the side netting. I couldn't believe it was in the goal. And then Big Ida, I know people, you've heard me murmurs, folks saying like he's no good enough and that. What a player he is to come off the bench. And obviously Kyogo getting the goal, doing what he does, you know, penalty box.
Well, let's hear what Joe and Hingy say before we start getting into kind of individuals.
Well, see, I thought like when the first half wasn't great. I think Hearts at times in that game were surprised by how well they were playing. I think they're one of those teams that seem like, fuck, we could do this, but they can't really finish the job. There's kind of a guts thing about it. But see, the first goal we scored was almost kind of a gimme, sort of. I mean, ball bounces around, your Kyogo's onside, he gets two chances, and it's in. Kuhn's goal, different level. Fucking, I mean, again, just from where you were sitting, I'm sure it looked like he'd hit the side netting, but the gap he got it into was amazing.
Right.
So, and see from there, then your confidence is up. You're like, fuck it, this is going to go well. Again, I didn't see 5 goals either, but it was really, really comforting and really, really motivating to see them just like change a game. I mean, because how many games have you seen when a shit first half is followed up by a kind of lukewarm second half? I mean, or a desperate second half? That didn't seem desperate. It seemed controlled. I mean, and that's kind of where the confidence comes from, because it seemed like they're going at halftime and then come back out going, right, well, now we need to do what we know we can do. And that's how it worked out.
Yeah, I think it's fair, Joe. I think I'd agree with what you've said. It was a poor first half. We just looked a bit off the pace. Hatate was kind of our main player with the ball, but he was hopeless in the first half. Engels, if we hadn't have had a corner in the first half, I would not have even known he was playing in the game at all. I think that's the only time I saw him touch the ball. But everyone was off it, and we'll get to Engels because it's definitely worth talking about. But there was no one really. Maeda was kind of probing a little bit, but in terms of quality, it was pretty poor. I was in the pub watching it, so the thing that stood out for me in the first half was how often they exploited us down our right hand side, which is arguably our strongest part. Well, one of our strongest parts of the pitch. How good Johnson is and Kuhn as well, but they got loads of joy. Like with the fullback overlapping and whatever, they got in behind us 3 or 4 times in that first half. So it was a bit of a concerning display from our perspective, but you were never overly concerned that Hearts had too much about them. Like you said, Shankland so far off the boil now, it's ridiculous. So I think it's pretty inevitable where he's going to end up shortly. But yeah, I thought the game was poor first half.
Juniors.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Less trouble for Jason to abuse him, so that'll be good. It wasn't helped by the atmosphere as well. I mean, you couldn't in the pub, you couldn't hear it very well, just in general. But there's so many empty seats. It was it was pretty embarrassing actually for a prime time 8 o'clock Saturday night. It should have been set up perfectly for it, but yeah, the way they put all that paneling or whatever it is, or signs around the away end as well, they actually take up more seats putting those big flag or drapes across than they do in terms of what they give us. It's an embarrassment for our game, to be honest with you. So the atmosphere wasn't great either. But then second half,
I call those drapes Ronnie Daly's because they remind me of the Ronnie Daly era at Celtic Park.
See, it's a shame.
It's a shame.
See if you have those. Something's wrong.
Yeah, it's poor. It's a really poor spectacle and it doesn't reflect well on us at all. But once we stepped it up in the second half, there was never really any danger. I didn't see a 4-1 coming. I thought we'd get a couple and put it to bed. But once we'd kind of stepped it up a little bit and, got a little bit fortunate with the goal, but like Roger said, the first goal, but, it's because we're pressing, we're being much more adventurous and, Kyogo does what he does with those sort of chances. He probably should have scored before that as well. Kuhn had in his bit of quality, a fantastic finish when he got his goal, and then Ida seemed a bit more back on form again, coming on and getting his couple of goals as well. So I mean, it was a good day at the office in the end, but just took a bit of time to get warmed up. And like I said, it just didn't look a great spectacle on the TV, and I would imagine the atmosphere wouldn't have been that great. I think Jason did a good job of kind of selling the day. Obviously, you had a good day with your pals and had a good few drinks and whatever, which makes all the difference really in it in terms of the company. But like you say, as an experience for an away fan, it's pretty shite there now, which was my favourite away ground and the place I've enjoyed going more than any really in my time.
Oh no, it's absolute shite. There's no dressing it up at all. It's just terrible. And you feel terrible for there's guys full of Celtic week in, week out and go everywhere that didn't have a sniff of a ticket. And the ironic thing is, we ended up with a spare before the game. Just situation happened, and the good thing was it was Marty Fashion's brother that was with me, and it was his mate that got it. So it went to a good Tim that goes everywhere. It took the chance and get up, without one. So he got it. So that was fine. But it's awful, and you just feel everybody you meet like in the pub before it or walk to the game. There's usually 10 of them, and there's 2 of them or 1 of them. Folk there themselves and stuff. It's just shite. It's no good.
But the people not realise that watching football on TV in general, when there's empty seats to fuck, people go, "This is a big game, big important game," and there's empty seats. People go, "Is it fuck?" Do they not get that? At the end of the day, you're selling a brand. Scottish football's a brand.
See, the thing is, these chief execs, etc., the Scottish clubs, they count out of their fans. And I get the reason why, because that is their bread and butter. But these guys should be businessmen and they should have business heads on. And I get the fact, see if Hearts had beat us 4-1. Yeah, but it's job done. It's working for them. We're absolutely destroying them with next to no fans there. For whatever advantage they're trying to gain, it's just fucking a hatred of Celtic. I know they've done it with every club, but we must be the catalyst, And
I know, but I would expect. Maybe I'm fucking.
By all accounts, a Hearts fan has said that we give them less of a percentage at Celtic Park than they give us.
But those margins are very different because the numbers are very different. They're very expensive.
No, Joe. They want more tickets for Celtic Park. They sell out. We only give them like 900. We gave Bruges 3,400.
Right. See this.
Right.
Angela Forbes told us that the only club who regularly asked for more tickets were Aberdeen. Hearts fluctuated so much to the point. Do you remember I'd done a podcast with a load of away fans? And Liam, I think you put me onto a fella that you worked with. Remember the old fella?
Right, he was his friend. Yeah, it wasn't the one I worked
Right,
with.
he said on that podcast that getting tickets for Parkhead was really, really easy because we never ever sell all the tickets we get. So see your mate or the guy you know.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about the good times because Hearts, I mean, that's not the information I got. And I'm not calling anybody a liar because I don't know for a fact. I mean, we probably could find out within the fucking week, and get proper details. But I don't know. I mean, I know that it's if see the opposition were going to sell out their section, we'd give them more tickets. I don't think we're giving them minimum. I don't think we're giving everybody 600 for it because how many times have we gave that section and it's half empty? Do you know what I mean?
I know, but the narrative seems to be that it's tit for tat at this point. Does it not? Across the board, it seems like because Rangers has said, we're not doing this, everybody's going like, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, it's tit for tat, we give you minimum. It seems like it's a fucking war, and everybody loses. Everybody loses, like. Everybody loses money, everybody loses fucking tickets, and you go like, well, where does this serve anybody's agenda at any point?
Well, Aberdeen actually started it. They were the ones for, must have been what, a good 7-8 years ago. They cut us from having like, I don't know, 2,500 down to about 1,500. I don't know the exact figures, but we used to get like 2 sections of that stand across for the main stand, and we've only got 1. And by all accounts, they'll be selling it now because they've been doing well. But they were the ones. But how many times did you got there and the stadium was half empty?
See, that's the thing, right? I'm not as fucking moaning. It's their club, and I get if they decide that's what they're going to do, then fair dues. If it falls, I'm quite comfortable that a club fluctuates in terms of what the gears, right? See Aberdeen are doing well. They're getting close to sellouts. See if they want to cut their weight and have more home fans in, I'm fine with that. That's the way it fucking goes. Celtic done that, as you guys just spoke about. Do you know what I mean? We under Ronnie Dyer, if you wanted fucking 10,000 tickets, you could have got them. Do you know what I mean? But it just comes down to the Hearts one is frustrating because the Hearts one has been cut to a stupid degree, and because they can't control fucking their own fans, they've forsaken tickets for people to watch a game live in a football mad country and replaced them with advertisements. That's wank.
I know, but I think the main aversion of all that, of all those clubs, is that they don't want to seem like Celtic is wagging the dog in terms of like being the financial powerhouse, being the biggest draw. I mean, being like, okay, we'll sell tickets, but if Celtic come along, we're going to give them these many tickets. Whereas I suppose the model should be, to some degree, if you can pass it with your club, is that whatever tickets aren't sold, we can then give to, say, the likes of Celtic who are going to come and buy those tickets, those extra, and then make that money, because that money will then only enhance everything, right? But again, nobody wants to see Celtic being the fucking dog that wags.
Forget the money. Forget the money, right? The money, fuck all to do with us. It's absolutely. I hate fucking Celtic fans becoming fucking accountants and telling other clubs how they should fucking.
But it does play a part, though.
No, but it plays a part. What does it play a part to you supporting Celtic?
And not to me. I mean to the clubs involved.
So why the fuck are you caring about that?
Because it's the only way to get to what they have interest in.
I don't understand your point.
There's money
talks.
Money down the river.
Exactly, but that's their fucking prerogative.
But that's what Joe's. He's making the point. It's fucking stupid. They're cutting their nose off to spite their face. It's not
Exactly,
as if it's not as if they're getting any better results against us with cutting our allocation.
Again, it's their club. It's their club.
I know, but no, sorry. My point is, Scott, is that it's the reversion is that they don't want to be seen as being wagged by Celtic financially because they don't want to be seen that in front of their fans going, okay, well, Celtic can have all these seats because we need the money, and Celtic have the money.
That might be the case, right? But you started off this discussion with a point that I agreed with you fully.
I know, but that's why I slalom. I mean,
you started brilliant and you fucking went into madness, right? So, no, it's the fact of the matter is the two largest clubs, the two clubs with most power in this country, couldn't fucking solve a ticket problem, and the government board made up of all the clubs couldn't fix it. So we've got to this ridiculous point where we've ruined, as many people around the world consider the greatest derby in the world, right? Might be true or untrue, but the fact it's in a running for a fucking poxy league like Scotland is quite a thing. And we've ruined it. We've fucking allowed decisions to be made and to be ruined. And that is dissipated. That's fucking ruined the rest of the league. And we've got to a point where everybody's making these fucking decisions for the sake of, fuck you, fuck. So basically, we're at a point where Scottish football should be kind of putting their hands around each other to lift itself up. We're basically pushing each other down constantly.
But you're kind of making the same point I'm making, only in a different way.
But I'm never going to be sitting lecturing other clubs for fucking for the.
No,
the
I'm not lecturing, Scott. I'm just kind of observing, going like, is this why? Is this why? Again, you're right. I mean, fucking like the fuse has been set and the bomb's already gone off. I mean, so what's done is done, right? But it takes people to fucking figure things out and go, you know what? Why are we doing this? And again, I think it's in many ways it's just anti-Celtic.
The thing is, right? You know what you're looking to happen is for the league to set down some guidelines or some rules that says 5% minimum or some other figure, but. I think I saw something on this where if they mandated 5%, I think we get more than 5% in most of the games that we go to, apart from Ibrox and Time.
The 5% is a minimum. It's not. The 5% was that was the minimum you give clubs. Then that nullifies the chance of Hearts kind of going, no, you're only getting this.
Okay. So
you know what I mean? So it wasn't set in stone. You must give them 5%, no more, no less. It was 5% minimum. That's what people are looking for. But the problem being, Liam, is the people who run our league are independent people. It's not the SFA that run our league. It's basically the same clubs who are making this decision. And you need fucking 11 votes. Hearts and Rangers aren't going to agree to it, are they? Do you know what I mean? The madness is Hearts can fucking lord it over everybody by claiming we're nothing like the two, what do they call it, the two arse cheeks? We're nothing like them because us and Hibs still give each other fucking tickets and you sit and go, fuck off. And they go back to this. But the irony being, I've read loads and loads online of these other fans, and they bemoan the fact that we don't fucking give percentage of our gate as we used to do, right? They bemoan that, and they cite that as something they would change to make Scottish football better. Yet we're sitting in a position where they want fucking a percentage of the gate, but they want to give us a better percentage of the tickets. So you're kind of, we're at a point in the new where it ultimately needs a fucking sit down and a refresh, isn't it? Because it's going to go. Jason was talking about it recently. You know what I mean? Cunts have just got to gee up.
What year did that? What year was that in place until that sharing of the gate receipts? Was that for league matches as well?
I think, what was that, 70s, early 80s? Jay, will you tell me?
I didn't even know that was a thing apart from the cup game, Scott. I didn't think it was a thing in the league.
Mate, I'll go for a Google. I'll Google it.
I just thought cup games.
Yeah. It's mentioned a few times, isn't it? I mean, it would be some step change to move to something like that.
It's never going to happen. And this day, I mean, every time I hear it proposed, I always responded by saying, you're basically looking to dumb down the whole league to make you better, rather than you getting better. I mean, Joe's talking about, the fact is, in my opinion, 99% of the clubs in Scotland have been running like fucking shambolically.
Yeah.
Including ourselves at one point, but we fucking screwed them up. You know what I mean? I mean, fucking Hearts and Hibs are a fucking basket case.
No bigger basket case than the fucking jokers across the river.
Yeah, exactly. Aye.
Well, the thing is, I mean, like I think Jason, I think you've flagged it up. The sports sound kind of commentary after the game. Was it Alan Preston was on? I think you listened to it on Sunday, and like he was just nearly in tears, like straight into it after the game. That's the league done. That's everything done. That's the next X years done, which is fair enough, right? And like for everybody else, it can't be much fun having one powerhouse being so dominant. But the thing people keep forgetting is Celtic, and it's the irony is we're constantly criticising the club and the board, but Celtic have created all their own revenue and their strength, and they run themselves properly. They took the hit back at the time when Fergus McCann came in, put the money in, built the stadium, invested with the fans, were sensible with their spending, and lost out on trophies at that time when we know it wasn't a level playing field. And they've managed to bide their time and reap the rewards of running the club in the right way, which seems to get me down.
You could probably put it to Law when he came in after the Seville run, totally downsizing and cutting costs and no investing in the team, etc. So there was plenty of rocky times after that under Dyla, etc. But we definitely didn't invest for a position of strength, where arguably we didn't have strength because we had an aging team that didn't have many saleable assets. Well, I suppose if you had been ruthless, like using a baseball model, etc., if you'd sold half that team after that run, you might have got a right few quid in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then reinvested it in young folk if you had that. I mean, like Porto did. We didn't have the young players that they could. They didn't do it to the following year because they won the Champions League. But as soon as they did that, they sold everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't have the foresight to do anything like that.
In fairness, though, back at that time when we were in Seville, like this whole, I forget the phrase now, but buying and selling players, player trading model, that wasn't a thing in British football, really.
No,
it was probably more on the continent.
It wasn't Portuguese.
Yeah, but not a British thing, was it? You wouldn't be expecting to be successful and then trade your players while they're at the peak. I can't remember where you first started seeing that in British football, really.
Well, recently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So not back in the Seville time.
It's only been like your Brightons and stuff like that that have kind of done it.
Yeah.
Nobody else has kind of done it. But I mean, if you had somebody that had a vision back then the fans would have off their nut. But if you had actually punted that full team or all your main saleable assets, you'd have got a right few quid in. But as long as you'd invested that in top young players, and then. Because at the end of the day, see if you're a top chief exec, you need to forget the noise that's run about you, and you need to do what your fucking vision is, and you need to go for it. And like in baseball terms, I know it's totally different, but there's similarities that your top general managers, they'll sell players or they will trade players. It's a different model sort of thing. You don't sell anybody, but they will trade. If you've got an ace that's still got 3-4 years left in his contract, you'll trade him for like 4 top prospects, and your fan base goes off their absolute nut. But if one or two of the prospects end up in an absolute bumper, then they realise, and then before you know it, they've got trust in you, and then they know, because that's the worst thing you can do as a baseball club is let a player run into free agency, because then they just leave you. Or you need to pay the exact same as some other club that's wanting to get them back on the books. They just basically go to the highest bidder. So that's what happens in baseball. But if you're a top GM, you'll trade the guy when he's got a few years left and is at the top of his game, because you know you'll get maximum reward for him. And in football terms, fucking you look at the basket case across the river. I mean, with Morelos and Ryan Kent, they had maybe 17 million quid or whatever that they could have got for the two of them, but they didn't do it. Lennon, for the year that we were going for 10 in a row, if he punted, you know, French Eddie, etc., the fans would have been off their nut, but it would have been the right thing to do in hindsight. But nobody's wanting to take the wrath of the fans, but you need to have somebody that's got a strong backbone and they know that's the best thing for the club. Because if you've got a player and you're keeping him and he doesn't want to stay, there's nothing good will ever come of that. You know? And if somebody's got their eyes on another step in their career and you're saying, no, we're not letting you go, fucking going to down tools, or they're not going to do it. So you need to, I think top general managers or chief execs or whatever, they're the ones that don't listen to fans and do what they think's best for the club. And so what under the bridge do, but it's something we should think about, you know.
But the thing is, I mean, there is a wider discussion, you know, around not the future of Scottish football, but where's this going to end up? Because, you know, we're not slowing up anytime soon, are we? So nothing's getting better for any of the other clubs in that regard. And the ticket situation's getting worse and worse and worse for us as, you know, a way of support. And I agree with Scott to a degree. You can't just be like, well, give us more, let us in. You know, that it's sensible to say sell more seats, put more money in the game. That's absolutely 100% spot on. But it's not just as simple as to say shove you all up and let us into 2 or 3 of the stands like we used to. But
and the thing is, Celtic aren't going to do anything to help their away support.
Yeah,
they're quite happy us getting shite away supports. You know, it's less hassle for them. They're not going to say to away fans coming to Celtic Park, right, to entice you in. They did do it once with Kilmarnock. I mean, maybe, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. Remember they gave Kilmarnock 2 for 1.
Yeah,
and they brought double their away support. You know, Celtic with all the money in the bank, why don't they put an olive branch out and say to every away team in Scotland, right, £15 away tickets to Celtic Park? You know, you sell more pies, you'll sell more programmes, you'll fill in the stadium. Why don't you? You know, and then it gives it leverage for us. You can say to them, well, look what we do to your fans when they come to us, start treating our fans better. And you never know. But it would take a monumental change of mindset for Celtic to do something, and I don't ever think they will. But I would love to see it.
Totally agree. We've said it on here multiple times, haven't we? You know, just be the leaders in the game up here. Aye,
because say Celtic's playing Kilmarnock, Celtic's playing Motherwell. It's only fucking 40 minutes along the road for them, right? If you say to them, 15 quid a ticket, loads of them would bring their kids. And say, Mum, we'll go to Celtic Park for the day, go and see your team.
Yeah.
And we all want full away ends at Celtic Park. You know, we're going to go to the game tomorrow, and there's going to be 8 Ross County fans. I don't. You could tell them they're getting for free, and they still wouldn't bring money. You know, but they are an outlier. But every other team, if you say to Hibs, if you say to Hearts, if you say to Motherwell, you say to Kilmarnock, St Mirren, you know, possibly the 2 Dundee clubs, Dundee United, definitely, Aberdeen 100%. Dundee, they're doing well this season. You know, if you made it the 15 quid a ticket, I'm sure you would double what they would bring, and you'd fill that away end.
Yeah, we'll come on to the Bruges fans, I'm sure, at some point. But it was great having such a full end. You know what I mean? Not that they were that boisterous. I didn't think. Not you know better, Jason, being down that side. But It's always good seeing the numbers like that.
Aye, definitely. I was buzzing for the game. I thought that they'd been right raucous and that. They were absolute shite.
Yeah.
Total shite away support. Good numbers. But nah.
Right. Can I interrupt you 2 seconds, boys? Right.
Yeah.
So this is a quote I've got, but I can't really find out where the quote's coming from. It's quoted on a Hearts website, but I don't know. I'm still trying. By the way, I've found another thing which I've sent to you in due course, which is mega interesting from 1980. So in 1980, Scottish League clubs. In 1980, Scottish League clubs voted 26-11. Everyone got a vote in those days, not just the Big 12, to allow home clubs to keep their entire home gate. That I suggest was the starting point for the big clubs to get bigger and the rest to gradually wither on the vine. Campbell Ogilvie, who was then Rangers secretary, stated in the Rangers versus Hearts programme on the 11th of August 1980, instead of being tied under rules to paying visiting clubs 50% of the minimum admission price, Rangers and many other clubs will now be able to put the cash to good use. So there you go.
So according to that, then prior to 1980, whatever. So that maybe makes sense why Celtic would only say there was 18,000 again.
100%. And that really ties in with what I think. So a fun 1980, the Scotsman newspaper commissioned an in-depth survey on the state of the game entitled Scottish Football, the Pride and Poverty. And some guys fucking PDF the whole shebang, the whole fucking document thing. So I'm just reading wee bits of here. It's
I cannot believe I wasn't aware of this, if this is actually a fact.
Aye.
So what they're saying is, so the minimum admission, right? So I remember when I was a kid, I would get lifted out, right? So when I first started having to pay in the child gate, it was 50 pence. So does that mean are you talking about the lowest adult admission or the lowest?
I don't know. That's just a quote a fun, mate.
Right. So say for instance it was the lowest admission, right? So I would have been 50 pence. Obviously it was cheaper gone years before then. But say I had 50 pence and you had 20,000 in a crowd. So Celtic were given St Mirren that 10,000 quid.
Aye.
When we played at home against them.
Mad at it. See this thing I'm reading for 1980, I'm kind of skimming through it. Basically, the Huns' profit all came through their fucking lottery.
Oh, they used to have one of the biggest lotteries.
That's all they're going on about, is that's where their big profits coming from.
I remember that. They used to have one of the biggest, because there was no lottery, there was no national lottery.
Right. Hugh Adams was the guy, yeah.
They used to have one of the biggest lotteries in Britain.
He was the one, Hugh Adam. Was he not the one that kind of...
He was the one that said Rangers won a big club.
Yeah. That's the boy. So see, for my benefit, see in the 80s, what would the kind of attendances have been across the league? Take away the big games, but just your general league games.
See, interestingly, right, see when you say this, right, now this is me, nostalgia. So, as I've said before, I was at a Celtic Dundee game. It was the year that Dundee United won the league, 1984, and it was the last game of the season. And something in my head tells me it was a Thursday night, but I might have been wrong. I spoke to somebody, I don't know, but it was absolutely scorching. And it was the last home game of the season, and we were sitting down in the steps of the jungle watching the game. Right, it was boiling, and I think the crowd was like 5,500.
Yeah.
But your average attendance at Celtic Park, obviously you'll be able to see it for the starts, right? But the Rangers game would scoot and whatever. But your average attendance, Liam, would have been roughly like 20,000.
Well, that's exactly why I asked, because every time you look at the coverage, it always looks half empty.
Aye, it would have been at 20,000. So, and see the ironic thing, right? So Scott, it's probably no that big a deal with half in the crowd, because you would go Easter Road and the crowd would be 17,000.
That's where I was coming from, yeah.
You would go to Tynecastle and it'd be 20,000.
Yep.
You know, so Motherwell would have 20,000 when we played there.
No, I agree with you. I mean, but that's always a big thing that's cited as a problem, huh? It basically comes down to the fact is they don't fill their grounds. We've said that a million times. Here's one to go on a wee tangent for you, right? So before that, this thing was done before the meeting, right? Before that meeting, and the Aberdeen vice chairman, Mr. Chris Anderson, had a proposal that the National League consisted only of clubs capable of attracting sizable crowds and bringing their grounds up to high standards instead of relegation. A franchise system based on the American model would operate. Fucking hell, in the 1980s, Aberdeen. Wild, man.
Because mind that came out of the stipulation for getting into the Scottish Premier League, and you were laughing at me. The man after my own heart. By the way, Joe just posted there. Just a big thanks to all the listeners. That's us at £3,000.
Incredible.
Aye. And by the way, we've still got 1,700 for last year.
Yeah.
So this is looking at definitely a £5,000.
Yeah. Well,
and we didn't do a live show.
We'll do what we always do, obviously, and we'll increase the target now. Now we've hit it. And just keep putting it up. But we're not even in December yet either.
Amazing. But that's really, really interesting, Scott. And it gets me totally thinking. But but the disparity nowadays, back then as well, it was a working class man's game. You know, there was very few females, and no being sexist or whatever, but there was very few females. It was a totally male generated thing, guys in steelworks, factories, blah, blah, blah. And it was pennies to get in the game, you know, a couple of quid. And the cost of living, everybody was living in a council house. You didn't have to worry about fucking getting paid off your work, your rent would get paid, etc. And it was just escapism for people at the weekend. You know, there wasn't nowadays fucking you need an extra mortgage to follow a football team.
The other big difference is as well, if you think back to the 80s and stuff, and before that, is Scottish teams and British teams could compete and win in Europe. So you know you weren't so fixated on having to have more income to compete against these teams that were superpowers money-wise. So that was much less of an issue. Whereas today, how could we realistically give up half of our supporters' income and then compete in the Champions League or other things? So it's a different
Champions League,
it's a different kind of landscape, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And the thing is, if we played an English team, it was a 50-50 game. You know, when we lost to Nottingham Forest in Europe, we would have been kind of favourites at the home game. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what year was that again, Jason? What year was that going?
That would have been
82.
82. They'd won 2 European Cups.
Well, that's exactly why I asked. Yeah, so Villa won it in 82.
83, 84.
Because it wasn't the European Cup, wasn't it? No, was it the Cup Winners' Cup or was it the UEFA Cup?
Yeah. UEFA.
Aye, it was
UEFA Cup.
Yep.
Was that like the bad crushes down at that game?
Oh, aye. I broke my leg. I was going to it as well when I broke my leg. So I got paid to that. I was watching it with a stookie. But aye. So you know, we would have been fancying ourselves to beat them. You know, and they'd fucking no long won the European Cup. And aye. I remember I went Danny McGrain's testimonial at Celtic Park. My dad took us and we were in the main stand. And I mean, total sellout. And you'd maybe, I don't know, like 500 Man United fans had made the journey up. And they didn't even have a section. They'd all been mixed in the Rangers end, some of them in the main stand, etc. And the atmosphere was absolutely electric, you know, for a testimonial. You know, a night game at Celtic Park. I don't know what the crowd, you'd be able to Google it, but there must have been 60,000 at it. You know, Danny McGrain's testimonial. And you look at the big nights, and look, I can mind playing Dynamo Kiev in the European Cup, the Celtic end, you could hardly breathe. It was that busy. And just like, you think the vastness of the crowd, but it was like pennies to get in. You know, it just was dead cheap, dead affordable. You know, it wasn't like, you didn't get many folks saying, how can you go to Skin? I can't go to the game. you know, because it didn't cost you much. And it was affordable. And they were the days.
And just while we're on that kind of segue, just to finish off, obviously on the reverse side of that, what you're seeing down in England now is
Everton today, Jebo. That thing you put in the chat today, Everton.
Season ticket prices.
I only skimmed over that. Was that good news or bad news? Was it high?
But on the group chats, there's folk cracking up and folk. You know, some of the tickets are like some are like 500 odd, 600.
Right.
They've still got OAP kids ones at like 199. You know, then they've got junior tickets at 240, 250. So for that, but a lot of people's season tickets at the minute would be like 500 and they're jumping to like 700.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is it's like if you bought a house in Walton or you're buying a house in sort of a decent area of Liverpool,
yeah.
You know, that obviously the tickets are going to go up. I don't think they've been up astronomically. I still think it's all right. But if Everton plummet and start doing shite, they'll be playing a fucking half-empty stadium because when you're charging that extra amount of money, a lot of people don't have expendable cash.
Yeah.
Is that the gamble though, Jabo, for Everton? Is the gamble is like let's push it up a wee bit, and if we do really well at the stadium, let's keep pushing.
Joe, you know that if Everton do well, if Everton have a good season and say like they're in there for 2 years and they have a really good season, then the prices will fucking shoot up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's not really a gamble; it's more of a strategy. Right?
So I mean, my mates are no doubt. You know, it's like they've still got a massive hardcore local support. The vast majority of their support base is local. They've got very few tourists that come to see them. A lot of tourists don't even know there's two football teams in Liverpool when they come. You know, whereas that shower, half of their stadium is fucking tourists.
My wee lad didn't know about Everton until I explained to him that Liverpool had a rival.
Aye, exactly. Loads of kids and that won't. Don't.
Yeah, you've just failed as a parent then, haven't you?
I was years ago, fucking Scott. You know, it was years ago.
But see,
I never said you didn't get better.
see the day that Everton, I hope it comes, but the day Everton gets successful and fucking start having fucking fans flying in from India and stuff like that to watch them. Fucking hell, my mates will gaff a fucking nut. They will like.
But is that not inevitable? Is it not?
It is. Well, there's no doubt about it. They know it'll happen if they're successful. You know, and it's not, by the way, nothing against folk from India. I just mean in general, for Australia, wherever, you know, flying in, they've got no connection to the city or no connection.
There's plenty of Indians in Liverpool, I think, already. I mean, I think Liverpool's in danger.
I just, if they're flying into South Korea, right?
Alaska! These Alaskan cunts coming in.
Exactly.
Fucking Inuits everywhere.
Aye, it's fucking, you know, they'll just fucking gaff their nut. But see, at the end of the day, if they were getting success, I'm sure they would change their tune, you know.
Aye, that's the two-sided sword, isn't it? I mean, you can have it all, but you can't have it all, can you?
But see if Everton as a football club went down the road that Liverpool do and only sell half the stadium, well, they're not done it, you know, so they can't do it now because the full stadium's getting sold out to season ticket holders. So if they keep buying their season tickets, unless the club can refute their tickets to change the full model, which they wouldn't do, so they're going to be they're going to be sewn up. You know, you're not going to be able to get a season ticket. Aye. So the amount of tourists that would have the ability to go and watch Everton unless a season ticket holder was giving up their ticket. But now we've touched on it, we're kind of away in a ramble. What about that Notts Forest thing you posted, Scott? I found that fucking horrific.
I missed that. What was that?
Notts Forest have done away with season tickets.
What? How's that?
Well,
how does that work?
That's where I was starting from, Jason, about saying Tottenham have removed OAP tickets, and I think Man United are doing the same or similar to kids' tickets. But I didn't see that Forest thing either. So, what was that again? Tell us that.
So basically, Notts Forest have removed season tickets. So everybody now are like a kind of member, and you get the opportunity to buy your ticket for every home game. So they need to pay 52 or 56 quid for every home game. So they're now in a list, and see if you don't buy that ticket, you go away down the list and someone else will take your place.
Right.
And you need to buy every ticket. So you're basically conned into buying every ticket, or you won't get the chance to buy a ticket.
It's a race to spend.
It's a race to the bottom, isn't it? It's a race
That's
to
exactly
the
what it is.
Yeah.
And basically, if you were,
Holy mother of fuck.
so if you were, because what they see the value in a tourist coming, he buys a strip, he buys something else, he'll spend a load in food, spend bloody. You've got a local goes there and buys nothing, buys a pint at half time, and then fucks off to the pub with 10 minutes to go to the game. Do you know what I mean? And
totally, man.
that's where they're targeting.
Oh my goodness.
What? See,
Yeesh.
we're
that is quite soulless.
we're going on mad tangents here, right? I won't take it too far, but Jason, what happens in like baseball or American football and stuff? What is the American model for supporters?
It's totally different. So the Mets, I can only speak for the Mets, but American football would be different because they've only got a short season. I don't think they play like 11. You would know better than me, Scott. Maybe only play 11 home games and 11 away in your normal season. It's a small window. It's November to February. But the baseball is like the start of April to the end of September. And if you get to the postseason, you're playing October. So you basically get 6 months where they're cramming 162 games in. So you get 81 home games and 81 away. So your away tickets, you don't get any. So basically, any fan for the Mets that wants to go to an away game, you need to go through the home club and just buy a ticket, right? And there's no segregation, no nothing. But what the Mets have got like a group, the 7-line army, they'll buy bulk tickets for the away team and they'll all sit at a section.
Right.
But they just do that through the away team. The Mets don't have anything to do with it. But at home games, they'll have various packages. So you'll have a season ticket, which you get into all 81 games.
Right, you do. Okay.
So you'll have very few would buy that, right?
Right.
Then you've got season tickets that give you the weekend games. So you get every Friday. You'll get one that gives you a Friday night, because a Friday very rarely day games. So you've got a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So you'll have every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the season. They'll be the next most expensive.
Right. Okay.
Then you'll get ones that only give you midweek games, or you maybe get the choice of one midweek game. There's all different kind of packages to suit kind of everybody.
Yeah.
So if you're a retired guy, you'll buy the package that just gets you into the odd midweek game. But what happens is if you've got any of the packages, if they get to the post-season, then you've got the right to buy your seat. You'll have the chance, you'll get the opportunity to buy your seat for the post-season. And if they get to the World Series, you'll be guaranteed a ticket. So there's a ton of different packages they would offer.
Right, okay.
Right. But there's the Mets, basically, the only games you would struggle to get a ticket is for the Yankee series, or if they're winning the league and they're going to the post-season towards the end of the season. Opening day and the final, like home game sort of thing. Yeah. They're the only games of the season you would kind of struggle, because there's 81 games. You know, people pick and choose what games they're going to go to and stuff like that. It's more like a pastime rather than an obsession for most people.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking where they're going to take it, because a lot of American owners down south now, and you know, Hibs have got American people in there as well. But I was down in Birmingham last Friday at a gig and met all the boys. You met them before, most of them Birmingham fans, Blues fans, and my pal's the assistant manager there now, and they're all on cloud nine. They're doing brilliant. They're selling out every week. But I've said to them, like the same as with the Villa, it's just they'll get you in, they'll do well, but then they'll fucking hit you in the pocket for it, you know, big time. But as we've seen with the Villa Champions League tickets, and Villa, like other teams like Palace, they have these category games down there, you know, the big games, category 1, and the prices go up accordingly.
Aye. Everton's had that for years.
I have that as well, right? Okay.
These different categories, aye. You've got Liverpool, Man United,
Yeah.
Man City, and I don't even know if Arsenal are that the category one, but the big like Liverpool, Man United, Man City would be your category ones, and then you would have, I don't know if Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs and all that would be category 2, and then your rest would be category 3 maybe. So there'd be 3 different tiers.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting though that Forest have been the first to go this way because they're doing well now, but they've not had proper success for years and years. Like Liverpool could go season ticketless and sell out every game tomorrow because they're full of tourists, like you said.
They do it. They only sell half their stadium to season tickets. The other half of tickets.
It's still half, and it's still what 25, 30. What I don't know what their attendance is. 25, 30,000 season tickets. If Forest are going with none, that's some step forward.
Aye.
Need to get old Johnny Owen back on and grill him.
I know. I was thinking that.
Ooh, do you think it would work? I don't know.
I did speak to him recently, so it'd be
I've been D-Boyle in the chat talking about the new Chinese because they're all up in the Highlands. Fucking Japanese, D. You need to listen there.
Japanese,
Okay, hell.
Japanese.
Fucking
Come
racist.
on.
I know.
Have you not seen native wrestlers or restless natives? Whatever the fuck it's called.
I mean, the only time we talk about Chinese here is Harper gave us his knowledge that the only people in the world with pure black hair.
Yeah. Do you know what? That was a strange one.
We miss Harper.
We
do miss Harper. We do.
The only nation in the world that's got black hair
is the Chinese.
no one else.
Interesting.
The words of the blessed Reverend David Harper.
Anyway,
that's the kind of fact my wee lad tells me. He said, watching on YouTube, fucking Mike Tyson was a science experiment and he's a robot. I was like, huh? That's kind of facts Harper throws at you. Anyway, where are we?
Hearts.
An hour and 20 on Hearts. That's not bad.
We haven't got near Brugge yet.
No, I know because we're talking about Hearts.
Right. Well, Hearts.
Alameda.
See, that was basically why I wanted to come back to Hearts. I don't think we should labour on this because I would imagine we're all pretty much in the same place. But the Engels chat and the Ida chat before the weekend is quite pathetic, isn't it? I mean, it is really fucking narrow-minded. As Brendan Rodgers rightfully said today, you've basically witnessed guys in the last year who, once they've settled, once they've got a pre-season and all that, have shown what they're worth. Do you know what I mean? Yet there's still this same demand to put people, to label people as shit, even though he's already proven to you that he's a good player. Do you know what I mean? Like, see the Adam Ida one, I can't. What do people think that everything he done last season was just a fluke and we've just, you know what I mean?
Yes. The answer is yes, right? People want to live with a generational belief that when somebody goes off the boil a wee bit or isn't as consistent as Henrik Larsson or George Cadet or fucking Pellet Canio or Paul McStay, that they must be a flash in the pan and therefore there needs to be a change. And I think that might be something that frustrated Brendan Rodgers in the beginning, because the very first time round, because we expect instant heroes because we're used to it, because of the turnover of staff, the turnover of players. The long-term hero we've had in the last fucking years is Larsson. Who played longer than him and became a hero? Nobody, right? So everybody's consistently hero after hero after hero. Now we're in an era of like some of these guys have been there 3 years, 4 years. That hasn't happened in a while. So people fucking want to shit on somebody. And it's generally easy to do that.
But Joe, you know, I mean, I know there are lots of people looking at it like that, right? Which I think is nonsense. But it really should just be about he's really off form the last 3 or 4, 5 games, and Bernardo has been really good every time he's played for us, right? So it should just be as simple as Bernardo's starting and Engels is coming on a bit more and finding his feet that way.
I know, but somebody's always got to be shite though. There are fucking that's what annoys me the most. Somebody can't just be, you know what? He's just simmering. He's not boiling right now. He needs time. He needs to be Just
No,
whatever.
we're not.
Somebody's. I know.
We're not picking our strongest team, are we? That's the problem.
I know. I understand that. I understand that. Right? I mean, and that's a mistake because you're putting someone in the spotlight who, I suppose, is struggling. Not struggling, but I mean, not living up to the standards that people are expecting them to. I mean, and then you've got somebody like Bernardo walking in and making a big, massive change. But again,
see the absolute mad thing, if you think about Bernardo, is if Bernardo had been playing even semi-regular for Benfica this season as under 21 Portuguese captain, I mean, you're honestly looking at him being linked to clubs for 35 to 50 million.
I was thinking of the other time.
And we're at a point that we're kind of going, just a young boy, hingy cost, and it's almost as if the fee is dictating people's opinions. I don't think Engels should be fucking rated on his fee. He should be rated what he's doing in the pitch now. And right now, games are passing him by. And
but go on, sorry, Scott, go on. Finish up.
And Bernardo has come on the last two games and made a positive impact. Ergo, he starts and Engels has to fight to get the jersey back regular. Simple as that.
On the flip side of that, I think Brendan Rodgers is treating him because of the fee. You know, rather than on form.
That's my point.
Right, okay.
I would agree with that, but I'm just looking at it so, and I've got no doubt Arnie Engels will be a top player.
Yeah. Same. I mean, all of us.
It's just, I mean, I think the thing for us was his first couple of games, I was like, fucking hell, this boy is unbelievable, right? But he just took a dip, and games that kind of passed him by. And at the start, first 2 or 3 games, he was outstanding. You know, he was involved in everything. He was like, fucking take all the corners, free kicks, scoring the penalties. He was involved in fucking laying goals off and stuff like that.
Machine. Yeah.
Aye, it was. I'm like, this is fucking too good to be true. How did we sign this kid? And now it's took a bit of a dip, but as we're saying that, Paulo Bernardo has just never let us down at all. Every time he comes on, he's outstanding. His contribution, you know, if we talk about Adam Ida's at the end of last season, Paulo Bernardo's as well was brilliant. And I'm jumping to Ida now, and you were getting loads of folk questioning Adam Ida, is it what cause of the price tag, £9 million? But you're saying we got fucking, how much did we get for O and things like that? So in the grand scheme of things, the club wasn't doing a lot of money for a hell of an upgrade, you know, for O to Adam Ida. But even I said, I think it was at the start of the season, I says, and then he's thinking about Ida, and you went like that, no, and I was like, fair enough. I was just thinking he had maybe some of the starts that he had that he wasn't too good, but he's finding his feet now, and all credit to the boy because he's no getting many starts. But I tell you what, as an impact sub coming on, fucking hell, he's deadly.
But see where we've got to settle ourselves and be comfortable in that decision is that, do you rate him? If you rate him, then you can criticise his form. I mean, the fact Engels come in and looked the part straight away has gave me anyway indication that this is the right guy. It might take him time. As I've said ever since, I remember fucking Paul Elliott taking a season, he fucking settled in, he come up for England, you know what I mean? And some people need time to settle, some people don't. We are in an absolutely fantastic situation now that our 2 massive signings in the summer are allowed to settle. But a lot of people don't see it. And as I say, idiots, man, to watch Adam Ida really look the part for his last season, sign him and then go, well, he's shite. And I'm kind of going, well, was he shite last year? Well, no. So you've got to say, well, form-wise, he's not playing well and he doesn't deserve his jersey. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, a different argument is, see, Kuhn, when we signed Kuhn and he played, Kuhn did not look like a good signing at all.
Yeah.
At all. That Hibs game was deplorable. Him and Abada fucking howling, man. Right? But the thing with Abada is You'd seen a badder. See, Kuhn had it all to prove, and he has. And the big thing for Kuhn now is to prove he's got consistency to keep it going, Jota-esque for the whole season and beyond. Ida and Engels have proven to me, maybe not other people, to me, they're good players. But see, right now, they maybe don't deserve their place in the team, and I'm fine with that. I've said it now 3 times this season. I'll say it again. Some people just need to chill out about fucking big name signings sitting on the bench for Celtic because, as Jason rightly says, if we've got Adam Ida sitting there busting his hole, ready to come on and fucking do a job for your club, we're in a good position.
Fucking right.
And see with Engels, just in his defence a little bit, he's only Engels has only played like fucking. He only played what 30 or 40 games or something before we bought him.
And you've got to throw in, right, so Engels' ascension was quite unique.
Yeah.
He was playing for Club Brugge's second team in the second division, and he was signed for $100,000 halfway through a season by a Bundesliga team.
Yeah.
And he played every game bar one in the centre of the park. Every game bar one. And the game he missed was due to suspension for Augsburg that season. See, the following year, he was in and out of the team. So we've no bought a guy who's on this massive up trajectory. When we go to the guy, we've paid over the odds for that potential as the world dictates now. But this boy has still got a lot of growing, still got a lot of learning to go, and we all know that, and we've all got to get comfortable with that. But people need to get the 11 million out of their heads.
Yeah.
Because see, the 11 million proves that Celtic are growing as a club, because big clubs need to do that. We need to pay over the odds to get guys for future. Do you know what I mean? I said, I'm repeating myself, but I don't give a fuck. See, when Borussia Dortmund signed Jadon Sancho without one start for Man City, he signed for 8 million. I remember turning my mate and going, the world went fucking bonkers. And then I saw him the next season. I was like, well, I know nothing.
Right. You know, 100%. And the thing is, if you don't speculate to accumulate, you'll never get there. You'll get the odd one, right? You'll land lucky. And see, be fair. See, during the years, we have landed lucky with guys like Gary Hooper, and you know, we've unearthed some serious gems over the years that we didn't get for pennies. But the amount of fucking dross we go coming along with that, is spending your 1 and your 2 millions, and even, I mean, you're looking at 11 million for Engels. They paid 5 million for a Yeti. You know, you've paid 9 million for Big Ida. Look at his goal return compared to a Yeti. You know, you look at it, and that's a few years down the line when the cost of players has gone up and up, and you're signing him for England, or you signed a Yeti for England as well. But you know, it's like the amount of 3 millions in that we spunked in folk that were just absolutely useless and just couldn't cut it. And for fair fucks to Celtic, we getting the money for Owen, getting the money for these players, you know, we've accumulated a right few quid offloading people for the books that we didn't think were.
Jason, I'm still waiting on this £8.5 million coming in for fucking Bernabei.
I know. I mean, I don't think a Brazilian team would pay that, but I reckon if you clear the decks with him, you've won a watch.
Yeah.
You know. But I actually think the boy's not a bad player. I just think his positional sense was mental. But I kind of liked watching him at times. I thought he had a wee bit about him.
He said himself he never settled and he never get used to the football. So if he's away and he's doing the job, by all accounts, he's looking the part. I mean, they heard that famous story. It was everywhere that Tim Vickery reported that one fucking Brazilian journalist was bumming him up for a fucking cap for Brazil until somebody told him he's fucking Argentinian, you clown.
Aye. Thing, mate, you know the funny thing was I was out of the park just before we came on here at the top, and I stuck on Radio Clyde, and Scott Allen was on. I like listening to him, and they were talking about, they were ripping fucking Rangers and ripping Dessers, right? Just saying, I didn't watch any of their game, but it seemed like some miss last night. It was fucking the best ever. Like, it fucking drilled it and just fucking, he says it was as if like cried to miss it. No, it was that bad. But anyway, they were talking about Engels and they spoke about like adapting. And he made a cracking point. I'd never heard this before. He spoke to Carl Starfelt after he signed for us. And his first game was against Hearts at Tynecastle, and he tells Scott that he says he actually challenged for more headers in one half of the game than he did in half a season for Rubin Kazan in Russia. We see the physicality in Scotland, how you're in the box and you're jumping up for headers all the time, and you're having to clear the decks. Whereas he played in Russia and they're playing the ball along the deck, and it's so very cool and calm.
And the irony, he was pretty damn good at headers, as I remember. I can't remember him.
I don't know if it was half of the game or maybe it was just a full Hearts game. He challenged for more headers. And when you think about these guys coming for European football, coming to play in Scotland, and we play a totally different brand of football in this country. Because you watch any game in the continent on the TV, and it's nothing like watching a Scottish game. Scottish games are 100 mile an hour going nowhere half the time, but it's fucking, it's exciting.
It's funny, Jay, because I don't. Scott, do you see this in kids football, where you notice like certain teams play certain ways, and you realize like when you go up against them, you're like, oh, we're going to mince this fucking team because we have a certain element of physicality that has just been born into the atmosphere and the environment of the team. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because my team's tiny and everybody's physical against us. But I don't know about that. I don't know. Scottish is just as Jason says with Scottish football. The irony being that type of physicality and that type of thing would get you wins because people weren't used to it. But I think in top, if you go and look at Borussia Dortmund, we look like we guys against Borussia Dortmund. And that's generally not the case, eh? Do you know what I mean? Because we're trying to play, because you think of all the bodies we brought in. But Borussia Dortmund look like fucking men, and we had these a miniature German, a fucking...
Perception was very fucking weird, wasn't it? That's right.
Aye. But, I don't know. But so if we get in for fucking Bernabeu, I'd be delighted.
Aye. So
right, so Club Brugge, is it?
Club Brugge.
Right, where are we doing? In fact, I'll stick up my thingy.
Everybody was up for Club Brugge.
There's the fucking table as it sits in there.
Yeah.
Beautiful reason.
Your Hearts and Hibs, man. That's fucking wild, isn't it, man?
Could Dundee United get third, do you reckon?
Do you know what? It's not a million miles away. Hearts and Hibs, fuck me, that's brutal. Jesus Christ.
Well, they're focused on winning the Europa League, so they could let the eye off the ball in the Premiership.
Did Denny's, I know you don't like talking about him, did Denny's watch the game last night?
I didn't know.
No, I didn't see him.
I don't bother.
And I was late to the thing, and I turned on the score, and it was 4-0. I was like, what the fucking fuck has happened here?
I did as well.
Fucking hell. I mean,
I saw the first half.
Everybody in Europe can't be rubbish.
I know. Mental.
Have you seen the goals, Scott? Have you seen the goals?
No, I've not seen anything, mate.
No, it's unbelievable. First one was a double deflection. Second one, the ball over the centre half, he just stopped running and let the guy go in and score the goal. Third one, pass back straight to Igamani, and that I turned off at that point. But
do you know what? I'm sticking one in there.
I have a look, mate. So bizarre.
Anyway, I know we
but
don't like.
Here's my question: does it help the coefficient?
Yeah.
See, that's.
Whoa,
I mean,
let it rain. Let it rain.
We laugh at that. We laugh at that. But see, as long as Celtic doing better.
Let it rain. Let it rain. Let it rain. Go, let it rain.
it's benefiting us all the time, so that's good. It's just benefiting our next Champions League campaign. All good.
Right, what's next? Go on.
Brugge.
Give us your. So obviously, end it. Listen to the room 1-on-1. We need to be run down here, Scott.
Aye, we did a journey map here, so we did.
tell us about your day first of all.
Oh, it's not with me, right.
Oh, 100%.
So I finished my pod with Hans last week.
Who was brilliant.
Right, and I jumped on our chat and I flung at the boys. I say, he's just finished this, boy. He's really good. He's excellent. No, you need to take a listen to it. And Jason then straight away goes, I've heard this mob are all a wee bit stinky right wing. And I was like, oh, you're kidding on. So like one Google search and the fucking tap fucking thing shows you a lather mob and Nazi salutes. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. So I'd say to this boy, if we can, we'll tie up for a beer, right? So I was like, right, sound enough. So my plan, a good few years we get in the tune for something to eat and then we're going to hit a boozer. So obviously every club's got an element of dickheads, whatever way. So I was kind of hoping that he wasn't a stinky stinker. So he then sends me a message. What day would that have been? Monday, guys? Monday. He sends me Sunday or Monday.
Tuesday. Oh yeah, maybe.
He sends me a message saying we arrive on Tuesday morning and we go home on Thursday. We are all meeting up on the Tuesday night in Malone's, the name of his club. And I was like, right, cool. And he says, what's that like? And I says, yep, Malone's is a decent boozer, open late enough, you good Guinness and all that. Aye, good, that's a good one. And he says, and then on the Wednesday, we are meeting up with the rest of the club in Oswald's. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. He says, what's this boozer like? And I says, well, it's a Rangers boozer. I don't know what it's like, but I don't think it. And he's like, oh, well. And I says, well, you let us know. I mean, we'll see. And he says, no, I'd like to come and meet you. And I was like, right, sound okay. I'll drop you a text once we're available. So we've headed out, and you know how it is. We've been in for something to eat to a new Mexican place in the town. And there was 80s, and we're getting buckets of beer. So fucking, you know yourself, you've drank one, there's a beer waiting for you straight away. And everybody's waffling and talking and all that. So time's kind of got away from me, and I've got a stinky message off the boy basically going, you broke a promise. And I was like, all right. And I said, oh, sorry, where are you now? So you see, at this point, we're kind of going, right, where are we going to go? Because we had Wayne ways, we Lewis's ways, and we're going, we need to find somewhere. So my intention was still to drop a message and go, we're in here. But I do appreciate it's getting late in the day. So he's probably like, So he sends me this text, and I was like, oh, sorry, where are you? He's like, we have been jumped by the Celtic scum. And he starts going on this big fucking rant. And I'm like, oh, well, oh dear. I'm like, okay.
The plot thickens. Let's go.
So he sends me a picture outside Lynch's. And by this point, I've just put my phone in my pocket. I was like,
Fuck you.
Oh, no, sorry. I have missed it.
A very important bit.
Right, I apologize, I missed it.
This is the part where you punched him in the face.
You want to tell a story, Joe? So he texts me as I was getting into the tune, and it was a picture of him and his mate outside Buchanan Galleries, and they've got this fucking England flag. Right? He's probably seen it.
Seen it.
He's seen it, right? So fucking, let's see what it says on it. The picture of this England flag says, where is he, fucker? There it is, yeah. The picture says pride, passion, loyalty, FC Bruges on a fucking England flag, and that was when I kind of went, you know what, I think I might just buy this guy, you know what I mean?
He's podcast friend only. I mean,
Nah,
podcast affiliate only. He was trying to get close to you, and that worries me. It worries me you were susceptible to it.
But then there was even more positive news came in from the
So he's fucking raging, right? The boy's raging. Fair news. I mean, I didn't mean to pie him. I really didn't. I had still intentions of meeting him.
But listen,
I've
been in Glasgow. I've been pie by you.
Let Scott talk. Never mind you being in Glasgow, for fuck's sake. Come on. Scott, he's a story.
So he's spewing, right? And I reckon he's been drinking all day and all, so he's fucking getting rattled into me. So I've got a big wad of text off of my lap. And turns out they get attacked by Celtic fans, right? I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know fucking how. But one, his best mates, fucking 4 ribs broke. You know what I mean? Oh. So I offered my fucking condolences for the injuries. I apologise for no meeting him. I says the night kind of got away from me. So he kind of calmed down the next day and he asked for a wee favour and I was like, I didn't sweat. But I don't think he's going to be going away talking well he is, to be honest.
Scott, I think for Hans and his flag and his pal, there's only one real tribute. You
what? Let's just say his trip was club bruised.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, fair fucks to the boy. He done me a favour and all that, and I thought the pod was good, but
we all liked him. We all liked him.
Yeah.
We all liked him on the pod. He was great, man.
I'm not going to apologise for the actions of other people. That's
for bringing Nazis onto the show. He's not apologising for it, right? Fuck him.
So here's the thing, right? So we were going to the Lady Well to meet Big Tommy and a few of my mates for up for Liverpool. And so we left here about 5, drove in, and we're getting something to eat for that smoky trotters.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, that was brilliant. It was superb. But the thing was, for delivery, it was like an hour and a half. So we says, right, we'll do collection. So we drove into the bars and just parked across the road for it. And we were picking the food up at 6. That was the earliest they had it ready. So Mix went out to see if it was ready early. We parked up maybe about 10 to 6. And no, it wasn't ready. So I said to Mick, Mum, Ellie's driving and Mick's 2 kids were in the back. So I says, Mum, we're going to lunches and get a pint. So we went into lunch. So pulled in to the bar.
Oh, we've lost him.
Nice. He's still there. Just breaking up.
This is fucking the worst.
Jay, you there?
Aye.
We lost you. Yeah, we lost you. You said you went to Lynch's and we lost you there. So
right, sorry. So we pulled up at Lynch's and there must have been 10 riot vans or whatever pulled up. So I says, fuck, they must have been marched through here now. So I can remember I was there when Ajax came through and there was fucking thousands of them. It was bonkers, right? And I was expecting kind of the same. So I went into Lynch's, me and Mick went in and got a pint. And I was standing at the door and I just looked out and then I seen them all coming up. There must have been 100 of them if you're lucky. Fucking raggle-taggle fucking idiots. Bruges fans. Because the thing was, we drove by Celtic Park going to Smoky Trotters and there was tons of Bruges fans on milling about early. Well, with half and half Celtic scarves on. And it was like totally different from I was expecting this right-wing fucking Nazi mob. Yeah. It wasn't anything like that at all. And I mean, as I say,
See the thing. Sorry, mate. I'm fucking doing a Joe there. Crack on. Sorry.
No. So when we stood in Lynch's, I stood at the door and I looked at them all going by, and there wasn't any threat. None of them looked as if they could do anything. You know, it was like I don't know if he was among that mob, but there was like a few hundred of them if you're lucky, and there was more police than them. So I don't know how they got attacked or anything, because it must have been fucking some ninja mob, because there was more police looking after them than there was of them. There was hardly any of them. So finished the pint, and by the time we get back to the car with the food, went to Smoky Trotters, they were all away. We just went down to the lady, had our food and a few pints, and then walked to the game. And then, so I'm in the game, and they've obviously, I'm in the quite near them at the front of the Rangers end, and they were just like a shite away support. They did have their fuck Antifa banner and their Union Jack, and I didn't see the England flag because that must have been up to the left, so I couldn't really see that.
I was, yeah.
But there was tons of them with half Celtic and half Bruges stuff on, and they were dead quiet. The only time they went mental was when they got that offside goal, and they all started singing to us, "You only sing when you're winning." I says, "Well, we've not been winning. Yous were winning 1-0." You know, so. But I thought the atmosphere of the game was pretty shit, to be honest with you, for a Champions League game. It was kind of. But we'll go into the game now. But that was my.
That's the kind of smell I get off of them, is the Ajax smell as well. Because see, Ajax support's too big to kind of label them doing as what happened to us. Do you know what I mean? Ajax have got a scumbag element, no doubt about it.
A massive scumbag element.
But Ajax have still got a lot of guys who love Celtic.
Oh, aye.
A lot of them who still come on regular, love Celtic and stuff like that. And see the Club Bruges thing, because I had to Google. I
don't think they've got a massive mad element Bruges, to be honest with you. I think the vast majority of their fans would have been all right.
Yeah, well, he takes it away again in his rant. He was going on about how they chased all the ultra scum out of their stadium, and I was like, "Aye, maybe one mate."
Wasn't there a squad of them doing a tour of fucking schemes in Glasgow?
And I'm not getting into that. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Aye, Joe. Put yourself back, mate, Joe.
I'm just asking.
No, nobody knows.
Well, you've seen the same video as us.
Aye, that's a tour. I didn't say a fight. I said tour.
But so I kind of googled why they had English flags, because, like I say, I kind of looked at their history, and they were started by a Catholic school and all that. I mean,
right.
There was no English connection at all, but it just seems that they're one of the clubs that have took on the kind of British type of fan. So, like, you heard some of the songs they were singing, they play Oasis after goals and all that part. I think they've kind of they base their support on England rather than like now. Like I remember cracking up in Barcelona with this Barcelona fan had an England flag, and I was like, "Is this prick doing?" And then somebody's like, "Well, they were started by an Englishman." I was like, "Okay, I'll accept that and move on." But nah. That's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. It's a shame we got doing. See, be honest though. If they were just punters walking up the street and they get a kicking off of folk, bad crack at it. Because I thought scarfers weren't supposed to get fucking doings, you know what I mean? This is what I keep getting told. So but again, if you're walking up the street with that flag, then
aye.
I can see somebody taking offence to it, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But
taking a chip to it.
I hope his pal gets better soon. It's no nice.
Aye. Godspeed.
Godspeed. Right, let's go to the game.
Aye. So I don't know. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go.
Well, who was there? Was Joe? Were you there? Nope. Liam?
No.
You weren't there. Right. Liam, I know you were there.
I was there, my man. I had the pleasure of bumping into you on the way in, hearing half of that story, which was funny. Yeah, it was a weird, bit of a weird night all round. I suppose I had a couple of pints in Chapman's beforehand, just the usual. Travelled down, met Big Jock was up for the game, met Dell for a few pints, went down. I thought it was quite subdued around the ground. It wasn't as good as some other games. Obviously good at the start as it always is, but just very flat in the first half. I mean, the simplest way to describe it, I thought, was we did everything at the opposite end of the scale in a bad way that we'd done at the top end of the scale against Red Bull. You know, it was passive, lethargic, disjointed. The pressing was... Mieda, who's obviously this, incredible athlete, even he was kind of seemed to be jogging from player to player rather than that electric pace he's got, and it just looked the complete opposite. The press was pointless because it wasn't joined up and it wasn't at pace, and that was complemented by the fact that I thought Bruges were a really smart outfit. I thought they had a really good style and way of playing, and Scott, you sit high up as well, so because I'm set up in 4-4-1 for this game, it felt like they kind of had 7 players attacking when they were attacking, and then 7 players along the line at the back as well. It was quite an unusual kind of formation, but they just seemed to outnumber us all over the park, and time on the ball, we couldn't really get near them in the first half, in the same way that we'd done to Leipzig in the game before. So I thought we were kind of probably fortunate only to be a goal down at half time. They didn't carry a big threat as in and around the box. They were really good in the middle of the park and kind of, the way they connected up the play and stuff, but didn't create massive amount of chances and didn't seem to have a big threat. And obviously from your pod, I think their big striker was missing through injury, so I don't know how good or not he is and how much of a difference he would have made, but it felt like if they had like a Kyogo or someone with his movement, then we could have been in big bother. So the first half was as poor as it'd been probably, apart from Dortmund, for a while now at that level, and just fortunate to get away and kind of still be in it, I guess, at that point in time. And then second half was actually crying out for those exact 2 subs to get Bernardo on and Valle on. Within 2 or 3 minutes of them coming on, Valle made a great overlapping run, created a bit of space. Mieda kind of turned back, which frustrated a lot of people, and then 30 seconds later scores an absolute worldie, which is just peak Mieda. But even then, we were much better second half, but just a lot of frustration. Hatate gives the ball away for the second goal. That again, we got a huge, well, not luck because he was offside, but pre-VAR days you don't really get them. So we got off the hook with that one, and then Hatate kind of almost gave the ball away again in almost the same position a few minutes later. And I thought their 2 fullbacks were excellent. Kuhn was almost marked out the game. Mieda had a bit more joy, but I thought the 2 boys were really good, and the midfielders were excellent, and just with their kind of getting on the ball and creating space. But it's a big compliment to the players that they picked up after a bad first half. They got the goal, kind of held on a little bit. Probably with a stronger team, we would have gone another 10 minutes. We probably would have won that game, in fairness. But for us to play only half a decent game and come out with a result against a pretty good team, I think it's a big positive reflection on us in terms of where we are just now. And it's an opportunity loss because we know those 2 points would have really put us right up at the top of the table in a great position. But every one of us is delighted still to be 8 points from 5 games, and we're right in it with the games we've got left. So, yeah, pleased to come out with a point overall, the way we played.
Fair assessment, sorry, Skip. Yep, I wouldn't kind of disagree with it. But what I would say is, I think credit's going to go to them. I know we did say last week it was a kind of 50-50 game, but I didn't actually think they would have been as good as they were.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with what you said. They didn't have much threat run about the box, but they kind of controlled the midfield. Their midfield was poor.
Yeah.
But they done a job on us. They've obviously fucking studied how we play, etc. Our fullbacks get no joy. Kuhn, the man on him constantly. He didn't get a fucking minutes. You know, they've obviously watched what he did against Leipzig and targeted him as a danger man. And they were really, really good on the ball. They didn't really give the ball away much. They were very, very astute, their positional sense. And what a fucking shift they put in. They had a couple of real class players. That defender, Don Kuhn, he was brilliant.
Yeah, he was. 19, I think someone said he is as well.
Aye, he was excellent. And another day, we could have won it, but we could have easily have lost it as well. And the ironic thing is, there was 2 goals scored, and we scored both of them. You know, obviously, my seat is terrible. You know, it's the front row behind the goal. So, see, for our own goal, I actually thought Kuhn walked it into the net. I couldn't even see what was going on. I had to actually see when I got in, watch the highlights. And see, to be fair, it was a total fuck up, right? But I totally understand why it happened, because Schmeichel made the run out, but Kuhn couldn't see him because of the defender between him and Schmeichel. So he couldn't really play the ball to Schmeichel. Well, he could have played it out wide and Schmeichel would have got it. But there was a guy blocking his vision, so he's played it to Carter Vickers, who should have played it to Trusty, but there was a forward to further out. But he'd have got it to Trusty, no bother. But obviously he thought Joe Hart's in the net and he just played it in. And see, when you're looking at it again, you're thinking Joe Hart. You're thinking Casper Schmeichel could have actually got it. See, if he dived, they might have. But nah, it was just a fucking disaster for our perspective.
See if Schmeichel would have gone back and put his hand on it. What would have happened then? Because it was a back pass, wasn't it? It would have been sent. Would have been sent off.
As long as he didn't pick it up.
Well, if he touched it with his hand, is that not the same thing?
No.
Pick it up.
No, you can't pick it up. So see if he dived and turned it by the post, it's just a corner to them.
No, I don't think so. You can't touch it with your hand if it's a pass back. That's the rule.
Is it the hand? I thought you just couldn't pick it up.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. That's just why I was asking.
I don't know. You might be right. I have no clue, to be honest with
you. Yeah.
I thought you couldn't pick the ball up, but if you saved it, if somebody does a pass back to you and you save it with one hand and put it by the post.
It's you can't touch it with your hand. Just as
right, there you go. You're right.
And like I said, it's an indirect free kick.
All right. So, it was just a calamity. But if you look in the balance of play, Engels had a half decent chance in the first half. He's ballooned it. We had a couple of half chances, but they had a better chance in the first half that they could have scored. Do you know what the ironic thing was? Right, I thought they were controlling the game, and then see when we scored the own goal, it seemed to me that they sat back, and I thought we came more into the game when we were 1-0 down. And it's one of the things, it's a mindset for a team. You know, when they go 1-0 up, they kind of want to protect what they've got rather than keep playing the way they were. And I thought if they'd kept playing the way they were, because I thought they were a wee bit passive, they were still well organised, had a great shape. I thought they missed a trick because they kind of had us in the back foot. And if they kind of went for the jugular, I think they might have got there. But I don't know about you, but to me it seemed as if because I thought, not just like the second half, but I thought after they scored, we were the better team for the rest of the game. On the majority, they still had some chances. But I thought we kind of... And it was interesting, the Casper Schmeichel thing after the goal, getting the full team together. And obviously, he played like a captain. Joe McGregor was still doing a bit of chatting, but it was Casper Schmeichel that was kind of the man that was getting everybody, look, we've lost this goal.
Did you not feel like he kind of took ownership of the goal himself in a way? Being like, fucking, I was shouting at him. He said in the post-match interview, he said, I was screaming at him, I'm not there. He said, but he didn't hear me. He kind of
with the crowd, he said the noise of the crowd.
He said it was kind of my fault too. But I loved that. It's kind of like,
I thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
It wasn't on him. It's on both of us. I mean, it's on both of us. I'm the goalkeeper. The goal is my responsibility, not his. I mean, and fucking, I felt that was see that movement of like, let everybody get together. Let's support this guy, because you can see when the cameras went to his face, you could see him standing there going, blowing his cheeks out, going, "What the fuck have I done? What have I just done
Aye.
here
Aye.
on the biggest stage and one of the biggest games? The fuck have I done?" I mean, you can see that, but see that that's the kind of leadership you would expect from Joe Hart. I mean, that's Joe. That's the kind of goalkeeper Celtic needs. I mean, fucking like a real fucking personality that can like bring people together. And go, let's go. I mean, an actual fucking powerful personality. It was brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was really impressive what he did to kind of think that way quite quickly and just settle the whole team down. It was really good and calling everybody in. It was really impressive. I thought he was really good again in the game. Even with the mistake, he tried to do something positive that backfired, but he made one really good save and a couple of good saves as well. So I'm really pleased with him so far.
Well, no, brilliant, definitely. But to my point, did you not think that Bruges became a bit more passive after they went 1-0 up? Because they were pushing it, before they got the goal. And then after it, they kind of sat off as a wee bit. That gave us more. McGregor started to get time in the ball, which he wasn't getting before. And I think Engels was the kind of weak link in the middle of the park. I didn't think Greg Taylor didn't cover himself. But I think the way they played, me and you spoke about it, Scott, with inverted fullbacks, etc. But I don't think Alistair Johnson was great either. But to me, Maeda was trying his heart out and trying a few things. Didn't have his best game, but what a fucking goal he scored. But I just thought when Valle came on, the shape of the team was a hell of a lot better, and Bernardo obviously as well. But it's kind of frustrating that in the first half, don't get me wrong, I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but after they get the goal, I thought we got a good foothold in the game and we looked a hell of a lot better. And I was confident. I actually put a bet on Celtic at half time to win the game. We were 92. I actually fancied us to win because towards the end of the first half, we kind of grew into the game more, and they were kind of sitting off us a wee bit. But we were starting to play better and starting to get a rhythm. But I think they're a good side, and I think they're a good side. And it was two kind of well matched, but I definitely think we're better than them, but we had a bit of an off day. But got to give great respect to them. They were well worth the point, and potentially, if I was them, I'd be a wee bit sick you didn't win it. And where my seat was as well, for the life of me, I thought there was no chance anything was going to come. When they scored that goal, I was 100% it was a goal. And then when you see it again on the TV, obviously, we're just lucky the guy's legs fucking left there when they played the bottom. But I just thought we were kind of, they'd done a number on us and they knew the way we were going to play, and they kind of done it perfectly. They kind of knew what we were going to be doing. And it was all kudos to them, obviously, the manager, them well drilled, and they didn't get overawed with the Red Bull Leipzig worrying about the crowd, because they silenced the crowd. And the crowd was pretty passive as well. And we've got to do our bit as supporters, and I don't think we did a bit anywhere near as much as we should have. They're going about the great Celtic Park atmosphere, but that's one of the worst atmospheres in the Champions League game I've been in.
But I mean, was it not one of those games, Jay, that like last year or 2 years ago would have been 3-0 against us?
Potentially, aye. But the thing is, the other games,
intergenerational trauma.
but do you know, the funny thing is, Joe, right? It's maybe the fans are getting a bit blasé about us getting a good record in Europe now, and they're kind of expecting it, and it's like, fuck's sake, we're not destroying these. Why is I don't know, maybe.
Well, that's the tourist side of it, I suppose, sometimes too.
But I think we're the victims of our own success, aren't we? I think, against Red Bull, we've created an expectancy now that we've not had for a number of years. So I think that's why it was so flat, because we didn't play to that same level again. But that's ridiculous to expect us to be like that all the time.
Because I'm still half a wine.
But did you not think the fans were very flat?
Yeah.
As an atmosphere. And the thing was, probably we went in with an expectancy that we were going to win that game. Whereas I know I'd said before it was a 50-50 game, but I was expecting us to win. And I think most Celtic fans were, because of the way we played, and you're looking at Bruges, you're saying they're not as good as RB Leipzig, they're Belgian, blah, blah. But they'd have been, you mentioned the exact point, Scott, on your room 1-1, saying to the guy, this is your biggest chance of a result away from home. And they would have probably been looking at it the exact same as us, like they're only Scottish, we can do as well against them. And I think that probably manifested itself with the crowd, and I think the crowd didn't do Celtic justice. We didn't support the team the way we should have. And it's no use trying to rely on the boys in the Green Brigade to create an atmosphere. It's up to us, it's up to every supporter there to create that atmosphere, and I don't think we've done it. And I just thought we kind of let the team down a wee bit. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, totally agree.
Aye. I felt like that myself.
I think the fact that it was like such a big grab in terms of points in the league format now, it seemed like it didn't seem that urgent to the crowd. That was like watching TV. It seemed like a regular Champions League game. There was something missing.
Do you think it's maybe the format as well, that you've got 3 games after it, and it's like it's nowhere.
There's a kind of a buffer ahead of you. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think as well, the irony is we've had much better home fixtures in terms of winnable games, but it's not the big ticket games, is it, to kind of get the blood flowing in the same way?
Well, the ironic thing is, out of the 4 games, that was the one that was the best for a potential atmosphere, because they're the ones that brought a massive away crowd. Yeah. And out of the young boys will probably bring a crowd, but for the other 2, they're pathetic. Do you know what I mean? So, from that perspective, you would think you've got a full away end, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's going to be the end of Dirty Dozen, get with the nets up, etc. That's the exact end they'll get, isn't it?
I actually didn't even notice him on the night. So you were pretty close to them. But
you can hardly even see them, even when you're near them.
Right.
They're pretty good. It's obviously good because it doesn't cause any viewing problems or anything like that.
Right.
Aye, but they're there, but they don't kind of cause anything. It was funny about it, it's like when they scored in that and the police all running around in front of us and guarding it and sending stewards. They sent all these stewards to go in front of us and they had to kneel down, right? And there was one guy who looked as if he was fucking praying to Allah, and there was a lassie in front of me. She couldn't even go in one knee. She kept falling out. She was a bit fucking rotund, right? But I mean, she couldn't even go down in one knee.
Rubenesque.
A bit burlesque, Joe.
Rubenesque in the painter. Only painted.
Aye, she was. I'm actually there at the kitchen. She was doing it one knee and she kept falling out. And me there going, what the fuck? She got to stop. What's even a pile over the fucking park? She can't even fucking kneel down.
You know what? That's how you know she was a Protestant. She couldn't be there.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, I need to go for a wee burst. I'll be back 2 minutes.
Oh, goodness. You know what? There was so much built up for that Bruges game. Scott, I think everybody was like, oh, this is it. This is the points breakthrough. This is the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory glass fucking elevator. We're going up there. Again, Joe's analogies. Check it. I had a website. I had to write all these down. Right? Scott, how do you feel?
Right, to go right back to the original point, I thought their crowd, impressive numbers, really unimpressive fan base. I mean, I was expecting them to be fucking boisterous. You've been on the drink for fucking a whole, maybe every one of them got a doing. Maybe that's what happened. Right. So, in terms of us, I thought we were pretty poor. It was really interesting when you said, Liam, about how they approached the game. They certainly got back in numbers. I mean, Leipzig obviously thought we'll come and we'll win this game. I mean, the
Yeah.
Dortmund game must have played a part. However, I watched the Dortmund Leipzig game before, and even when we went a goal behind, I was still confident the way we were playing that we could come back and do that. See that the other night at half time, I didn't see how we were scoring because we did not look like scoring at all.
Yeah.
To reiterate what Jason says, I was stunned that they never went for us. Stunned, because see at half time we were 1-0 down and they didn't have one shot to go. That was, I looked at the stats, I was like, you fucking kid, not one shot to go. I disagree that the second half was made us. We were a lot better, but Schmeichel's made a fucking dinger save, and the boy Olsen has missed a great chance in the second half. He's fucked it all the bar. We were all in the shot. We were trying to play around their press, but their press was deeper. And you throw in the fact, like you said, McGregor, Engels, Hatate were all howling.
Yeah.
That didn't help. You need your midfielders to play. So, the goal was scored. It's a peach, but fuck me, it came out of nowhere, man. I was delighted to come away with a draw for that. I totally, I don't know why they didn't go for us, because if you watched how we performed after Leipzig scored, I was envisaging that. I thought it was going to be the famous boom boom, you're fucking 2-0 down and the game's done. But no, happy to get a draw. I don't know if they're much better than we expected, or did we totally underperform? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if our three guys on form, did they get anywhere near the same? But their whole Champions League campaign has been blighted by the fact they've not stuck the ball in the net when they've had the pressure. So.
Yeah. It was interesting. Obviously, we had a bit of a laugh about that young boy at the press conference. I don't know who he is, by the way. I don't know what podcast he was on or whatever, right? Right, no, but I didn't listen to the clip that you shared, but I did listen to the whole press conference, right? So his first two questions were like, I like someone that does a bit of analysis, right? I'm into that sort of stuff, right? But he just killed the questions with the whole 1.8 against 1.2 and all that kind of stuff, right? But I thought he made some good points about the way Bruges would play, and if I understood him correctly, I thought that kind of the way they played on the night was the way he was trying to describe it to Rodgers, and Rodgers kind of had a bit of a laugh with him and whatever else. But I felt like they completely outsmarted us tactically, as well as the way that they played on the night. So I don't know what your views was on that. Did you read it as the guy describing it?
But you need to put me on meat in the bone, because how did they do it?
So I thought he was saying that he wasn't really counter-attacking, but he was talking about the numbers that they attack in, and that's what I was saying at the start, Scott. He felt like they had 6 or 7.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's the point I'm making. They attacked in larger numbers, and I thought he was kind of saying that to Brendan Rodgers in that third question, and was kind of dismissed a little bit, but that they seem to have outnumber us all across the park in the style and the structure that they were playing. So I don't think we underestimated them, but they definitely did a number on us tactically, I thought, in the game, and we're really impressed with it.
No, and I don't disagree with your point. I mean, I started that by saying I agree with it, but however, I ask you if McGregor, do you think Hatate, McGregor and Engels never played well because of them?
I think it was a contributing factor, but I don't think it was solely because of that.
Right, okay, so they three have a 50% better game because do you think the game goes the same way?
I think as bad as Hatate was, and I thought he was, like Engels was just like not even like a complete empty shirt.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like we
exactly.
were a
He's a
whole
man down.
player then. Yeah. Which
And
I thought
McGregor was
part of the problem.
unusually poor.
And I think the part that Engels is an empty shirt affects McGregor.
Yeah, because he's got to do more.
Exactly. But see for that, like for Brendan Rodgers, right? I've slated him, right? Europe, but he's surpassed Everton with the way we've performed in the Champions League, right? But it's that, there's no substitute getting made to 60 minutes, right? And within 25, 30 minutes, you could see Engels as an empty shirt, right? And I know it's a total embarrassment to make a sub, but top managers do it. They don't care. They'll make a sub in the first half if things aren't working. He won't, So I think that's like a block in him for me. He'll obviously have a reason for no doing it, right? And I don't think I don't think he cares about upsetting players. I think he's very single-minded, and he obviously he believes what he's doing's right. And I don't think he's a shrinking violet that he wouldn't do that if he thought it was the right thing. But he's obviously got his way of doing it. But what I would say is, I don't think this is correct, right? But do you think that we maybe put more analysis on the opposition when we're playing away from home to try and combat the way they'll play against us? Whereas when we're playing at home, we will concentrate more on the way we'll play and let them worry about us. I don't know. It's something that's been in my head.
But again, this is kind of where I'm trying to get in my head, because I've only seen the highlights back. I'd like to go and see what Liam's saying about the amount of players. At one point, I counted the players on the pitch because we were getting pulled. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening here. Now, the fact of the matter is, Engels had a stinker, right? Engels, I know this isn't the case, but he didn't look up for it. He didn't look up for the fight. He didn't look like... See, when Bernardo pulls the boy down as he's running away, I don't see Engels doing that on that game. You know what I mean? And to me, that's a fucking... To me, at the level of football I played, I didn't play it particularly high. I didn't coach it particularly high. But I always remember a story. 1 hour, guys, we were 1-0 down the last kick of the ball, and they broke through, and my midfield just fucking rugby tackled the boy. You know what I mean? And everyone at the end of the game, we're hugging him more than we hugged the guy who scored the winning goal. Do you know what I mean? You've got to do that for the team. And I don't see Engels having that in him there now. As we've spoken about, we'll not go over the whole thing. So you're talking about in the centre of the park, you're a man doing. Hatate he was unlucky with the chance by the post, but how Hatate finished the game is beyond me.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, McGregor's almost trying to do extra. He's leaving. Maeda's trying to come into midfield to try and help McGregor, which is ultimately killing. He's killing his own attack and killing Taylor at the same time. So that one guy being off form has totally knocked our team. I've heard, I can't remember who it was, and they said that every game we get a detailed report about the opposition, who we're coming up against. So I don't think for a second we went into that unprepared.
No, and Brendan Rodgers is meticulous, right?
I think we've come up against a good manager.
Aye.
I mean, the rise of this guy is quite impressive. But I don't know if Club Brugge are, and I know you can't see me, but my hand's up in the air. Are they up there, or was our own performance as much a mitigating factor?
No, I reckon they were a better team than RB Leipzig, without a doubt.
But don't you think RB Leipzig almost never scouted us.
I don't think in this day and age that.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, see, I was saying you were away to the toilet. Their last vision of us would have been against Dortmund. You know what I mean? And they must have been like, pfft. And then even in UEFA, and they'd have been looking at Atalanta. Well, we've done nothing attack wise.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a really good point.
Game,
it's a really good point. You know, ultimately, the better players and better teams win games, don't they? Like when all things are equal, you know, and then your tactics come into that whole trying to get an advantage in any part of the pitch that you can to beat teams of equal or better ability, I guess, than you've got. So it's hard to say with us being so far off our form in that first half, and we were struggling, but then without the ball we were struggling. They did seem to have extra bodies all over the park, but then once we're back on the ball, you know, like I said, we were so slow passing the ball out from the back, which if you do that, then you can't break the lines, and we can't then do our style of play where we dominate with the ball and we dominate possession, and then we were so passive in the press as well, which meant we weren't getting it back very quickly, and they were easily passing through us. So it's difficult to judge just how good Bruges were on the night. I thought they were really impressive personally, but I think it's fair to say we were so far off it in that first half that who knows how good they are.
Liam, I've watched enough of their stuff and even doing my research that Club Bruges are a good team, a really good team. I think we're a really good team, and I think our levels were way below what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
So again, you sit in the middle and you go, right, what's the right answer here? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But to come back, I thought Celtic fans were rotten, but there's a kind of hand in hand. The team have got to play well. Aye. See, the thing is, I probably sang as much other night as I sang in the last 2 games. So, I mean, I don't. I've told you before. I'll sing. I'll join in songs, but I'm no going fucking do Ali anymore. And I don't know what the answer is in terms of Celtic end. Maybe how's that? How's that? Yeah, make a Celtic end, I suppose.
Oh, definitely. And then the day, the Green Brigade and that never shut up. You know, they sung the full game. The boys sung the full game. They're there, but the rest.
I'm sorry, just to, I generally don't criticise what the crowd is. I am saying what it was. It wasn't a very good crowd in comparison, but like I say, I don't contribute much to it, so I'm never going to sit and fucking filter it.
No, I know. And I mean, it's just one of the things, you know, but it's very frustrating, you know, we're going about this great Champions League atmosphere, and it was terrible. And we had a massive away support. They were shit, to be honest with you.
They were that. I expect, see, when I saw the amount of them, I was like, to tell you, I mean, like, do you remember Firewood?
Oh, no.
That was they.
Ajax as well, you know.
I bet Firewood was only last season, Foxy, and you couldn't see the stairs. Do you know what I mean? And it was, and they fucking didn't stop singing the whole fucking night. But nah, Bruges are gone. Next.
I know. It was interesting, but because see, they that wee section in the main stand as well. And fucking half of them had Celtic scarves on. Some of them had Celtic scarves on. No, something like that, a mix, but no, they were going mental when they scored, and they were getting it loudly. And I was expecting once they went 1-0 up, they would be fucking party central, but they kind of weren't they. And it was like kind of odd support, you know. And obviously they're massively passionate about their team, the numbers that they followed in, you know. But it was like when we drove through Celtic Park, as I say, that must have been 20 to 6 going by Celtic Park, and there was tons of them all walking in groups up to the stadium. So they were all nearly there early, and obviously wanted to take it all in and whatever. But they weren't like a raucous supporter or anything. They were kind of quite reserved, you know. And it was they weren't like
See,
I thought they'd have been totally different. I thought they'd have been full Monty and they'd have been at large, but they weren't at all.
I see as well, like they're more established than us in recent times at this level.
Yeah,
We're a point ahead of them. And they've got to play Sporting, Juventus and Man City to finish off their fixtures. So that there's little chance they're going to finish above us, I would have thought.
Well, you need to speak to Harper about that. He knows where we're all finishing.
Have a look, mate. They're below us. Well below us.
Fucking disaster. Harper put in the chat.
Makes perfect sense to me.
You got it for the Opta stats. Scott, can you stick that up there?
It's a bit Back to the Future, isn't it? Like it's a bit like fucking here's what you could have won.
Right, give me 2 seconds. There's where we set the new.
Right, Scott will put Harper's fucking ingenious fucking says that's good, isn't it? What the fuck does that mean? Doesn't even tell you what position MD finishes in. I mean, obviously, if you count it, it'll tell you.
Aye, it's a points prediction.
Aye, and he's got fucking Slovan Bratislava end up with a few points. They fucking get Atletico Madrid away, Bayern Munich away, and Stuttgart at home. I don't fucking see much future in that point tally, to be honest with you.
Harpstradamus is fucking.
So here's the thing, right? I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, right? So they reckon 10 points, 97% or something. Liam, did you say that's the qualifying?
Yeah, that's been the chat. That's been the chat all the way through. Yeah, 10 points.
So you've got to think we're going to beat Young Boys, and you've got to think that game at Celtic Park. I mean, we've obviously got the Zagreb game before them, so I think Zagreb's about a 50-50 again, similar to Bruges. Them at home, I would expect us to beat them at Celtic Park, but them at home, it's going to be difficult. They'll all be decent football players, but I don't think they'll be as organised as Bruges were. You know, I think it'll be more kind of gung-ho. They've let in a few, scored a few, etc. But, aye.
Yeah, I think the interesting Scott's started to change the thing now. He's put Harper's work of art on the screen, but I think the interesting thing about the league table is the cut-off point, or one below the cut-off point. There's already a gap of 4 points there.
Aye,
and there's only 3 games to go, so it's already starting to separate, isn't it?
Aye.
There you go, J-Bo. That's good, isn't it?
There we go. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. The 0 to 10 to 20 at the top, it's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That's beautiful. Is that scale?
That's a range of points, Jason. You come on, you're a clever man.
So we're sitting in fuck knows what position, but we're above PSV and fucking.
It's the Andy O'Brien League.
Man City are 16th, if that helps you.
Here, according to this, Liverpool have won.
Did you count the 16 down to find that out, Liam?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's how that Celtic played. Well, I thought Celtic. So I thought that the playoff worked as in 9 against 24, 23 against 10, 11 against 22.
Right,
but then
that's how it works, is it not?
Well, I thought that, but then I listened to the Sports Sound thing after our game, and they were trying to work out we could be playing one of 2 positions in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's the first I've heard of that. Is that right?
Yeah,
Scott?
that's. I sat and done a dummy draw the other day, and it was they said it's 1 or 2. Nah, they're wrong. Nah, I mean, it's basically the alternate. So like 23rd, 24th will play
9th
and 10th. Aye. That was the way I sat and worked out the other week and we were playing fucking.
So Scott, tell me, how does the dummy draw work?
How does it work?
So sorry, Scott, are you saying that 23rd and 24th play either 9th or 10th, or is it just 24th plays 9th?
No. See, the way the draw is 23rd and 29th and 10 will play 23 and 24, depending on where it is. And then that, because see the draw is all done now. in terms of like, do you know, like back in the day, it would just be a free draw.
Aye, no, I get that, but go back to what you said there. So you said 9th or 10th will play 23rd or 24th. So 9th could play 23rd and 10th could play 24th.
I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
Keep a look at this.
So 9th plays 24th.
Yeah. I googled it, Scott, after listening to that podcast and couldn't find a clear definition, but I've been quoting that it's 24 against 9, 10 against 23, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And
there's a reason it's done like that, though.
Aye, but they explained it on the Radio Scotland podcast, and Packy Bonner and his infinite wisdom sat there and goes, so it's just an open draw then. Like, what the fuck are you getting paid for?
Nah, I know.
Okay, here, there's the door, pal. Fuck's sake.
I know.
Honestly.
So, yeah, I just counted I counted that we were
the waste mumblings of Paddy Bonner.
But see the way it's going to work out, right? But fingers crossed, we beat Young Boys at home, right? So fingers crossed, right? So that's us 11 points, regardless of what happens in Zagreb or in Birmingham. But if we end up in the top half of the 9th to 24th, so you're going to play somebody in the bottom half. But you look at the teams that are sitting in the bottom half.
Aye, they're fucking Madrid down there.
So it's a fucking lottery, you know.
Yeah.
As long as you get in it, it doesn't matter a fucking fuck, because the team that's going to be there is, you know. I mean, I watched the highlights of that Liverpool game against Real Madrid. Fucking hell, they battered them. My God.
Yeah. Remember we watched.
Sorry, mate. On you go.
Sorry to interrupt you there, mate. You finish off, and I'll come back to.
No. Carry on. You go.
Remember, I think it was me and Harper were watching. Was it a Super Cup or something? Or I can't remember what it was. And Madrid won it, and they were like, it was like FIFA on cheat mode. I think that's how someone described it. That just looked fucking unplayable. But Mbappe, one of the best players in the world, going in there, it just totally seems to have unsettled them.
Aye.
Just taking them down, taking them back a peg, and look at PSG, man, 4 points after 5. That's beautiful to see.
I know, but they've regressed big time, obviously, since because their dream of conquering Europe and winning everything's kind of gone now, isn't it? So they're going to be just like an also-ran French team now, I would think.
So on screen, what have we got, Scott?
What have we got here then? This season's.
He does get a wee. If it stood at the minute.
So they are going to draw the playoffs in. Well.
All right, so it is. So it's no.
Right, so folks, we need
9 against 24.
actually explain what's happening on screen here.
So
why do you do this well?
Yeah, so it's showing that as we described 2 scenarios there. We thought it was going to be 9th place plays 24. But it is going to be a draw for 9 or 10 will play 24 or 23.
Right, okay, so it is a draw. Okay.
It's a draw between the two teams, aye.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
But remember, it's a computer now, so just press a button.
Yeah, I get that. It's just that they described it as once you went past the group stage, it goes into that. There's a description they use, like a.
And also.
So there's one. So there's one of two teams you could play, essentially.
One of 2 positions, yeah, you could play.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this, though. It's kind of like
and also, there's a thing there. There is no country protection. This is a knockout rounds. There's no country protection, for instance. So Liverpool could play Aston Villa in the round of 16.
So we make it Rangers. Oh no, we won't.
So here's the thing, right? See with the draw being like that. Do you reckon in the final round of fixtures there'll be some tactical fucking play going on?
The last day it'll be fucking madness, considering we all kick off at the same time.
That'd be nuts.
So every game's in the one day?
Every game, yep.
Right.
That league table will be fucking bonkers, man.
Yeah.
So that's...
I love that.
So, but that's definitely fairer, because what I was thinking was if it was Tuesday and the Wednesday,
Exactly.
So if you're playing on the Wednesday, you've got a bit of an advantage that if you can't get relegated out of the playoff, right? If you're sitting there, you can't get relegated, and you know that if you were to get beat, say the teams that are sitting 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, right, are lesser teams in paper than, are better teams in paper than the teams that are sitting 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. And you're maybe sitting there in 20th. You're maybe saying to yourself, well, rather than win this, they're probably better getting beat to fall down to 24th.
I find the easier tie.
To get an easier tie.
Aye.
But then
Aye, but I mean,
San Fran Celtic says win the next
Ah,
3
man.
games and just avoid
Listen.
this shit.
see the last match day of this format. It's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be
chaos.
It's gonna be Stato nerd heaven.
Can you imagine the amount
Every
of
game's on the 29th of January, and they all kick off at 8 o'clock.
The fucking see this league table. It'll make the stock market just fucking moving constantly because the goal differences, fucking points. It'll be. Do you know what? I'm here for it.
Can you imagine the fucking league, the benches and all that fucking things through their earphones, telling teams get fucking up the park.
You know what though? That's one of the massive pluses about this, though, because it makes teams that were never desperate before a wee bit desperate.
And well, the thing is as well, you must have fucking 10 different permutations that could probably happen at that one point.
Yeah.
When you're playing the game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a boogie's nightmare.
Well, and I'm pretty sure there'll be not one of the 10,000 Celtic fans down in the Midlands will have fucking any Scooby what's going on by that time of night either.
Not a fucking clue.
Oh, fuck no.
Not a clue.
We'll catch up on Thursday and see where we are.
Well, that's what I had to do with the fucking Slovan game.
Remember that time?
I can always remember see the Naka goal against Man United at Celtic Park.
Beat me to it. Just beat me to it.
I walked out there and didn't know we'd qualified.
Yeah. Same.
Right.
Exactly the
Just
same.
totally consumed by the moment. And then thought about it, that's us qualified. I'm like, no, it's no. Still got a game to go. And I'm like, no, we've qualified. And I was like, really? Fucking hell, no idea.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about it before the game. But nowadays, everybody's more in tune to what's going on because it's in your face all the time and it's like checking the league table. But it's definitely got my fucking mojo back for the Champions League.
Big time.
Aye. Whereas I would never, watch all the Celtic games in it, and as soon as we get knocked out, no interest in it whatsoever. But now, you're like, obviously, if we were sitting in 0 points, I would have fucking no interest in it at all. But where we're sitting now, you're like, fucking hell. Surely we can't make a cunt of this with these 3 games to go.
I'm not even thinking about it that way. I think
I'm not either.
it's more about like on who's next. Let's see what happens next. I mean, Bruges, we were all so confident for Bruges. Thinking like, you know what? It's not a fucking open goal, but you know what? We could spill it 2-1. And it went to fucking, almost went to fuck. Almost. Bar Dizan, right? But, I mean, you've got Zagreb. Again, almost seems like a fucking shooty in. But won't turn it that way. Young boys, I mean, it's just, it's the kind of excitement, the anticipation of the whole thing that makes it more exciting, you know, rather than like, you know, home and away. That was always boring. It became so stale. See, now it's very much exciting because they're going, it's every game's almost like a fucking cup final because you've only got this chance to take points off this team.
It's interesting. It's interesting though that I've said this a few times, but they've actually created a new version of it that benefits the lower ranked teams, which is amazing.
They'll sort that out within the year, mate.
Oh, you hope that. I mean, you really hope that.
Think this is UEFA's way of getting people ready for a Europa League, a European League?
Of
course it is. I mean, we've got more games. I mean, what they've no thought of, which I think will be a talking point to do, the fact that you pick your squads and then you basically got 3 days. Like, so you can't sign anybody for the last 2 games. Do you know what I mean? I think you'll find the transfer window will change. Probably move it to February. I think there'll be loads of things on the back of this.
Yep. I think this is their precursor to get folk ready for this European League that we're going.
It does seem like it's a
There'll
big
definitely be a sinister motive behind it. They're not doing anything. I mean, they're not bringing this in place to pacify the wee teams. do you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
Oh, look, it's kind of supposed to test the resolve of who fits in. I mean, who fits in? Who can fit in?
So, Scott, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know the seedings, but have we now played both our pot 1 games and both our pot 2 games now? We're Bruges pot 2.
Bruges were pot 2, yeah.
Where? So, I mean, that's the return we've got with our 4 hardest games out of 5. Toffee's agreeing. Look, that's good.
There it is. What's that?
Toffee's agreeing with that assessment. We've played both our pot 1 teams and both our pot 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Villa? Are they pot 3?
Pot 4?
Yeah, they're pot 4. Because they've not been in
I saw they were the nightmare one for us.
Borussia Dortmund and Leipzig were pot 1. Atalanta, Club Bruges, pot 2. Pot 3, ourselves, Young Boys. And
Bratislava, Villa.
Dynamo and
Zagreb.
Slovan. Dynamo and Slovan and Villa. The thing is, I remember you saying it, Jason. You were kind of saying that with Villa, you've got the worst draw for pot 4. But fuck me, we couldn't have. Them aside, you couldn't have picked a better fucking Champions League draw for this first year.
No, not at all. But the thing is, we've had in the past the amount of stinkers we've had.
Oh, I know. I'm no.
Yeah.
So what do we know about Zagreb then? I'm just looking at this table here. Scored 4 goals in 5 games.
What do we know about them regards what? Because I'm speaking to a fella on Tuesday.
Right.
I don't know if he's a Zagreb fan. He seems to be a young journalist. But, I'm
Are
speaking
they good?
to him. Huh?
Just general, Scott, are they good? What sort of chance have we got?
They're in 7 in a row domestically.
Right.
And before that, so Rijeka won the league before that 7th, and before that they'd won 12 in a row. So they've won 18 of the last 19 championships.
Wow.
They've done the double last year and the Super Cup. But they get put out of the Champions League by AEK Athens in the qualifiers. They get put out of the Europa League by Sparta Prague, and then they beat Betis in the Conference Cup, but get put out half I can't even remember. But they're no filled with massive names. They really are. I haven't spent any time watching their games yet, so
right.
I'll report back for that. But honestly, right, based on just stats and fucking just all in all, there's nothing there to be feared. You know what I mean?
That's good.
I don't know if you know about the stadium. The stadium holds
It's an old thing, is it?
35 or 34, but there was a earthquake in 2020,
Right.
which basically knackered the east stand. And if you go and watch your highlights, these stands are one the telly looks at, so there's nobody in it. And that's been the last 4 years, that's been empty, and that holds 9,000. So the capacity is like 25,000. And this season is kind of been hit and miss as well. are top of the league, Rijeka are second, and Dynamo are third again. They obviously sacked their manager. They sacked their manager last year after getting put out by AEK Athens, and they sacked the guy who replaced him was sacked this year after they get beat that 9-2 off Bayern Munich.
Okay.
So Europe's basically their thing because domestic football looks sewn up. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But currently they're in third place in the league. Like I say, they've came back well for that. And as you see, they've got points on the board. They've got 7 points.
Yeah. Just looking there.
But I don't see. Again, I'll maybe change my opinion on Tuesday, but I don't see something that we should be ultimately terrified of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a Champions League, so anything could happen, really, innit?
So they got hammered by Bayern, well beaten by Dortmund, drew against Monaco, beat Bratislava and beat Salzburg away.
Yeah.
That's a decent result. Although they're not
Salzburg are a shambles this year as well.
Yeah, I just seen that, yeah. Interesting.
So it would be fantastic to go there and get a positive result. I always say it's good for the guys that travel there. I always think they deserve it anyway. But for our own psyche, it would be fucking magic to go and get that win and take the pressures off a young boys game somewhat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because see the young boy game, let's be honest about it, the way they've performed domestically and in this tournament, and it's at home, we should be looking to go and win. But if you go and get that result in Zagreb, it takes all the pressure off that and just makes it a game.
Yeah. So quick segue, Scott. You might know better than us, but they were talking about Dortmund fans being strip searched going into the game.
Yeah. I asked the boys about it and they've not really come back, but
right.
it's been everywhere and they've complained to UEFA about it. So
yeah. Obviously, middle of December. You don't want
somebody fucking.
So I can tell you from my own experience going to the Maximir Stadium, it was fuck all that strip searches. You could have got in there a fucking bookie's pen. It was fucking bonkers.
Wow.
But what a fucking shithole there stadium. It's like fucking.
See, they've been having arguments with the local authorities about getting a new stadium for years and years and years. And it seems to be it's coming to an end now. They've kind of been granted fucking basically the blocker for all these years seems to have been taken away, so they're talking about the new stadium in the future coming to new, which obviously doesn't fucking affect us in the slightest.
I mean, it'll definitely be a tough game, you know.
I think so.
All these Slavic teams are all good football players, you know. Fucking hell, they're all shit hot. I mean, Croatia to me is probably the best country in the world when you look at their national team, how they perform on the worldwide stage in the World Cup. I mean, a lesser population in Scotland, and they get to semi-finals of World Cups, and you just look at some of the players they've produced. So I'm under no illusions that this is going to be an easy game for Celtic, you know. And I would definitely take a point now, but I still think we're capable of beating them because
that's the big thing, isn't it? That's the thing to do. That was what made Dortmund so sore. Is we'd kind of convinced ourselves that we were there to compete. We weren't there to take the doings. And that's what makes it so commendable that we have came back for that.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. But the thing is, you're going over there, and whilst the way world fitness sort of went nowadays, the best players in Croatia won't be playing in Croatia. So they'll have a team of loads of young kids and whatever.
Yeah. But I mean,
they're
losing.
Players.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that. Again, I'm certain I've told this story fucking in the past, but I was in Germany and I ended up meeting, that was in 2016, I was in Munich, I ended up in tow with a big wad of Hajduk Split fans. and they were bemoaning the fact that their top stars don't even get in the first team. Their top stars, all the young boys, they're just whipped away by clubs straight away. Yeah. And at that point, that wasn't happening to us. And I was like, fuck me, that's hard going. So when you lose guys like Ben Doak and all that, you're like, right, I do understand now, you know what I mean?
Aye. But we are kind of a lesser level than that because there's only been a Ben Doak. There's not really been many more. You know, we've
I think it's the fact. It's a good few has happened, but it's the fact that nobody's really kicked on, and you've no.
He's ended up absolute top class, but they are getting it. You know, because I don't know if it's a factor in Central Europe and they've got loads of links in Germany and stuff like that. That their players, they've obviously got heavy duty scouts watching them all the time, and as you say, they're just whipped away. So they'll have a good side, and make no bones about it. They'll be good football players, but we're a good side, and I'm hopeful that we can get some. I would take a draw the now, but I'm hopeful we can get a win. And if we could get a win, fucking hell, that's party time, isn't it? That's us qualified, and then we've got 2 games to go, which I'm more than confident will beat Young Boys at home. But you never know. We might know. Who knows? But it's very, very positive as far as the Champions League's gone. And I wouldn't have thought I'd say, I'd maybe have said to Edinburgh I took a draw against Brugge, but really I was hoping to win. But after watching the game and everything that went on, you definitely took a draw. Yeah. And it was. They deserved a draw. Do you know? There's no 2 ways about it. They 100% deserved a draw, and they're a good side. So, onwards and upwards. But for us all to be sitting here now, when the Champions League, before the Champions League draw got made, for us to be sitting here now talking about Celtic the way we're talking about them in the Champions League, fucking hell. It's pinch me time.
Yeah, do you know what, Jason? We've invested in the team, which we've not done for so long. We've been excited. The draw, I was pissed as a fart at the end of the draw. I went to the pub to watch the draw, and it was like being in an away game. You know, so different, so fast, so exciting. You know, we've done well. It's completely varied. It's really interesting. It's different every game. What a difference to the previous few seasons when we've been involved in it, and it's just been getting pumped and just a complete negative. So it's been a massive transformation this season. The whole experience.
I tell you what, it's all going to do to Brendan Rodgers. I don't care what anybody says, but like the way he's got us playing and the way he's, the way coming back for that Dortmund game, I had fucking major doubts. I was like, fucking, we've got a chance here. He's fucking clueless. He won't change the way he plays. And he's kind of threw it back in my face, which I'm absolutely delighted about. But it's good times. It's good times, Champions League wise and fucking league wise, obviously. But it's just glorious times watching Celtic, and just no doom and gloom.
And bit of a segue, but I think we need to be bold again on tomorrow when we're picking the team tomorrow. I think personally, I'd like to see us 5, 6, 7 changes tomorrow and get all the strong players in the team and rest some players ahead of Wednesday at Aberdeen and then the week after in Zagreb.
So right. So here's the thing. What do you think he'll do for Ross County? Do you think there will be 5, 6 changes?
Well,
I probably think there might be.
We did it against Dundee, did we not? In a similar setup. Yeah. Well, the 7's maybe a bit extreme, but I'd certainly, Spinardo, you'd definitely play. Edie, you'd definitely play. Scales, you'd definitely play. Bayer, you'd definitely play, in my opinion. And then it's whether you play Ralston and McCowan and Forrest, I guess. That's probably the splits like that.
Do you think he'll start with either?
Yeah, I think you need to give Kurgo a rest. Do you know what I mean? I think you need to do that. You need to give either game time as well.
I wouldn't disagree. And these 2 goals at Hearts, he deserves a starting berth.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything wrong when he came on against. I mean, he didn't have any chances of that, but he didn't do much wrong when he came on against Bruges. He held the ball up. was getting involved in the play, blah blah. But he was all right. But against Hearts, he was dynamite. You know, when he came on, he was fucking superb, and just exactly what we needed, and put the game to bed.
I've just said from the start of the season, though, Jason, you know, if we want to be as ambitious as we make out we want to be, we've got to be bold in these games. You know, we're at home to one of the worst teams in the league, and not to disrespect them. We said last week, or you guys were saying last week, I think, you know, we've got such a strong squad. We've got 6 or 7 players that are seamlessly fitting into the first team, so we don't feel like we're lowering the standard to a degree, or 4 or 5 players. So if we can't do it in that game tomorrow, when could we do it?
No, you're right. And to be fair to Ross County, they've got decent form at home, but away from home, I think they're stinking.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And go on, Mike. Sorry, finish off.
No, on you go.
Just to say that, you know, obviously up until a week ago, we were level on points with Aberdeen in the league. If we beat them on Wednesday, assuming we win tomorrow, and we beat them on Wednesday up at Aberdeen, we're 8 points clear of them already in a short space of time.
What about that, Scott? You get up?
So I don't have a ticket. I'm still kind of just on the periphery of the ballot. However, a few of the folk in the ballot aren't gone, so 2 tickets have fell down, and there's 4 days on the next level. So there's a ballot tomorrow for the second ballot. So I'll find out tomorrow.
Aye.
I don't know if I want it, to be honest, Jabo, man. I don't know if I want it, but I will not reject it.
I didn't get one, and then I got one. My mate phoned us up. He's not gone, so he gave me his, but try to get a lift up because I'm working on the Wednesday.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like, try to get a lift, and as I mentioned last week, Big Pat Ross died, so he's got rosary Monday and Tuesday, and his body's getting took to chapel on the Wednesday night and funerals on the Thursday. So I'll go to the both rosaries, and I'll go to the funeral, obviously, but Big Pat would want us to go to the game. Yeah. So we've not got a bus going, obviously, we've not got enough tickets. But so I'm trying to source a lift because I can't leave too early.
Aye.
But I'm sure I'll get there.
I'll find out tomorrow if I'm going, mate. Like I say, I don't know where I go.
If you want to drive, I'll get you a ticket.
I think I've just spewed my mouth there a wee bit. Well, by the way, I've had a couple of beers, Jason, and I remember I was pleading fucking again, but
that's what we were we were saying when the ticket situation we said when we need it. So our designated driver sometimes for these games, I text him, I says, "You got a ticket for the game?" Hope he'd say no. He's like, "I am sorted." I'm like, okay. But so I don't know. We'll work out how to get there.
We managed to jump ahead again there, so just pull it back to Ross County for a minute. So do you think big changes or same team?
I do. I wasn't. I was thinking Bernardo for Engels, but I'm got a feeling he'll play Engels because it's the kind of game Engels could shine in and to build his confidence. And I reckon he'd maybe drop Hatate. Just because he was away in international duty as well.
Yeah, see what Scott said, I think, the other week there. I mean, you could play Engels and Bernardo and McCowan. You know, you could give McGregor a rest. Not that he probably needs it, not playing international football, but we've got to be bold moving into that sort of space as well.
Aye, and the thing is as well, you know yourself, we've done it before, and you make the 6-7 changes and it kind of doesn't work. But you've sometimes got like a 1-0 lead, but you're toiling. Yeah. And then you bring on the big guns and you fucking put them to bed. But you need to expand the squad. And you put these guys there for a reason. And this is the perfect occasion. After a tough European game, you've obviously got a tough league game away to Aberdeen Wednesday, and as you say, the following week you're away to Zagreb. Yeah. So I think there will be big changes.
Yeah, I hope so.
I reckon maybe Scales could come in for Carter Vickers.
Yep, agree, same.
Yep. I tell you one thing, we've not even really touched on it. Trusty.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Tell you what,
Good.
he's a player. Big Thomas McEwen, the big man from the NYFB. He's over. He was there for the game on Wednesday night, and he'll be there on Saturday with Thomas and Mora.
Yeah, I'll definitely come in and get you, mate. I didn't realise he was in the lounge, so I'll definitely come in and see him then tomorrow.
But
it's funny.
His brother Jerry, it's the big coach in America.
Cool.
Big time. They didn't rate Trusty when they signed for us. He's like that he didn't see it, and he didn't. And Big Pat, Sheffield United fan, he says I don't rate him, and I was very sceptical when he came in. But I'll tell you one thing: see him with my own eyes. Big man.
Did you see his interview on Sky? One of them ones. How did he find Glasgow? And he said it's very similar to Philadelphia. He said it's very working class. He goes, it's kind of got the same sort of, weather to a certain degree. He goes, I love it.
Aye. I tell you one thing, the big man's a player.
He's got a lot of passion, doesn't he?
Oh, never mind the passion. He's fucking good football player.
But here's what was said on one of those podcasts. I don't know which podcast it was. So he's more athletic than Liam Scales, and Liam Scales is just short of him in athleticism because he's just so athletic.
You know what? I was talking to Derek McStay today, and he's Paul McStay's cousin. They're a big family, him and Tam and that, for wishing. And he was waiting his lift. I was there with Toffee walking by the park, and that's what we were talking about. I says, I feel bad for Scales getting dropped, and he's like, but he says, you've got to look at it, fucking happy days. What a standing you've got now as a central defender. I mean, we've got 3 proper central defenders, and Carter Vickers has got to get rested every now and then, and obviously he's liable to pick up an injury. But obviously it was a toe thing the last time, but he has had a few injuries in his time, and there's a thing as well. Whenever see when you look at your previous Champions League campaigns, the amount of games Carter Vickers has missed. Now this one, has he played every game?
No, did he not miss one?
I think he missed one near the start.
He missed
Atalanta.
Atalanta, Trusty come in and was
Trusty and Scales. Trusty and Scales, you're right. Yeah. But he's only missed one. And that's going to be a factor as well. When you look at that, and you look at, when we played RB Leipzig in that a couple of years ago, he was out for nearly the full campaign, wasn't he? And it's definitely going to be an aspect of how we're performing, because he brings a massive calmness, but I think him and Trusty together, definitely a proper central defensive partnership. And I love Liam Scales, but you've got to go who's better. And I think Trusty he's looking excellent to me.
Yeah, listen, Jason, we're going to come to the same thing soon about Kyogo as well. He's 29 now. He's been amazing for us. But, if you can get someone in within our budget and reach that's better than Kyogo, you do it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? There's no sentiment there.
Did you see the rumours? I'll post it now, right? Before we can even discuss it, I'll post this into our chat. And it's on one of my Everton chats.
Right. So you've got to. There's no room for sentiment in football, as Scott keeps saying, and Brendan Rodgers said himself. It's Liam Scales could not physically have done any more within himself to stay in that team, but he's just been replaced by potentially a better. Don't even call it a better player. A player with different attributes, and it's his pace, isn't it? It's that recovery pace, as well as his height and strength that Rodgers is picking him for.
Yep. You see what I just posted in the chat there? Surely there's fuck all on that.
That'd be good.
I think you need to tell people.
Right, so basically it says, I don't know if Sky have confirmed it, but fuck Sky anyway, they talk all that shit. Celtic are in serious transfer negotiations with Everton for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I can't see for the life of me how that's even possible.
Nah.
Do we need him?
A big fucking useless bastard up front. I don't think we do.
He's not
Yeah.
useless, is he? He's not.
Oh, he's no useless. He's a decent player, right? And he's very, very frustrating. But with he must be getting what, fucking 70 grand a week or something.
That's the key, right? It's not really even. It's not even worth talking about his ability. That's the key right there. What you just said. He's not coming to us for 30 grand a week, is it?
I don't think we're ever going to be in the market of taking guys on big wages back down to small wages. I reckon we are in the business of funneling players from, nice wages to better wages and then on to big wages. We are the conduit.
Don't get me wrong, he's been injury prone and stuff like that, and their fans, like the Everton fans, are no mad on him. There's some that love him, some don't, but you look at his goals per game ratio, it's fucking pathetic, right? But he's definitely got something about him. He's a decent player. You can see him at times, he looks fucking brilliant. But I don't think that's an even conversation. I don't think Celtic will be in the market. Because he's not at the end of his career. And I don't know, but I don't think there'll be anything like that. Don't get me wrong, he's got the potential to be a proper class player if he was fit, but he's playing in the ranked team anyway because he's fucking very little chances with him, and he's any chances he gets, he's going to make them himself. But I just don't think that's even a possibility for Celtic to sign somebody like that.
Yeah, agree. Right, we're up to 3 hours. I think I need to dip out soon.
I
Wrap
think
it up the fuck.
Andy O'Brien.
Wrap it up the fuck.
I think there's one way to end this show, and it's this here.
I think we need to pull the plug out of the bath straight away, Joe. That we can.
All right. Here. It's coming. It's coming. Shut up the fuck, man. Last Christmas, gave my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save me from Singapore, I gave it to Brandon Rogers. I think it's back. Brandon Love is back.
They get belted out at Tynecastle at Fairbairn at Scott near the end.
Indeed, yeah.
Yep, there was a few wee Brendan Rodgers. To be fair, the last time I was at Tynecastle, I wasn't at that one, the one before it, but it was the one before that. I think it was Brendan's first game. The crowd all chanted his name. So you've not got obviously the majority Green Brigade boys and all that there and everything. So it's like, aye, but he get chanted out. Angie deserves it. I think Celtic Park might give it the more if there's a proper result.
I think he's finally heard us calling in the night. I think first time around it was false prophet. I think now we're deep in the apostle stage.
Aye.
Which one of the apostles? But that's the main thing.
Fucking Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. The rest of them don't count.
Joe, first, I think you've been the pub the last hour while we've been talking away.
Do you know what? I've been 3 hours talking to you cunts, and I've got to train under 10s football tomorrow morning.
Right. Well, there's just a bit of whatever it was.
But I the apostle.
Kano tomorrow, 18,000th child.
What?
And by the way, the Green Brigade is their food bank collection. So MD heading along to Celtic Park. If you could bring a wee bag of food, if you go on the Green Brigade site or whatever, they'll tell you. I don't know if they've got the items that they're looking for, But there's a food bank collection tomorrow, and all the boys to the Green Brigade will be looking for. And if you've not got any food, a wee fiver donation or whatever would go a long way. So,
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Let me just pull that up here real quick
Pull
and
it up.
repost it.
pull it up the fuck.
So Green Brigade, it's tomorrow. North Ayrshire Food Bank serves 6,000 households per year. Green Brigade Food Drive is a vital top-up of stock levels for our community ahead of one of the busiest periods. Over the years, Celtic fans have shown such generosity towards us. Without kindness and compassion, we could serve those most in need. Items most demand are tinned meats, rice pudding, custard, carrots, and corn. Basically non-perishables, folks. I've done this kind of work, so yeah. Do you know what? If you're out there, big bag of shopping of non-perishables, you can do it for a tenner. You can, and it means a lot. So
Yep. So Andy, where are you?
My name Marty Geldof.
I know I'm shade at this stuff. I just kind of state the facts. Marty-
If
Marty puts me emotion into
the Green Brigade would need about 3 fucking Arctic lorries to take the stuff away from Celtic Park.
I know.
It's a bit like tomorrow, Jace. I'm arresting the big guns. Marty's getting arrested for the December podcast where he's going to give us the full gold off. Giving him a week off.
I tell you, man, it fucking worked.
Absolutely.
Just shows you, but
Yeah.
fucking tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
We listen. This whole thing has been going for 2 weeks, and we've reached the limit we set, which is $3,000, which is fucking insane. I mean, that in comparison to the amount of people that have come forward with gifts and prizes and stuff, going like it's I fucking.
And
It makes me love Christmas because I love Christmas anyway, but it makes me love it more.
And here's the thing, Joe, right? To let the listeners know, we actually spoke about it 2 weeks ago, and we said, we fucking no launch this, because obviously we've got all things going on in their lives and whatever, and we hadn't launched it, and we actually had a wee discussion, are we going to launch it this year? And we actually thought about it, and we says, let's fuck it, let's do it. And we did it, and thank God we did.
I but look, mate, there was a wee bit of panic among us going like, fucking, we're like a week and a half behind where we normally are. This is gonna be fucked, man. This is gonna be fucked. But you know what? It just goes to show. I mean, fucking consistency and doing things regularly and doing it for the right reasons. And it's just you know what? It makes this time of year amazing for me. I love it. I fucking love it.
And it's a big shout out to the Arsehole Convention. Without the Arsehole Convention, we'd be absolutely nothing.
If it wasn't for arseholes, there'd be no wind.
By the way, the new listeners on YouTube and all that know that they're now part of the Arsehole Convention.
All right, well, this needs to be stated, I suppose. Isn't it? Like, see if you post one comment on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Spreaker, wherever the fuck you might be posting, you're now part of the Arsehole Convention, right? And therefore, I mean, we don't treat you with disdain. It's more of a kind of it's like, do you remember that guy in school? You didn't bully him, but he wasn't your mate. That's kind of the arseholes for us. I mean, we'll ruffle your hair and go, you're all right. I'm not going to punch you. I mean, that's what the arseholes are.
Not a very good analogy, Joe, to be fair.
That's the worst analogy
That's
ever.
the worst analogy ever. But what I would say is, they all need to realise the officer commanding is Sean Butler sitting in Boston there.
Oh, aye. Well, he's Captain Arsehole.
He's fucking OC of the Arsehole Convention.
He will wipe every arsehole off the planet.
And Joe, the thing is, Scott might punch you if you walk past Lynch's, so you have to watch that bit.
Here, Scott. Did we talk about that already? How responsible you are?
Oh no, we missed it out. Let's go at it again.
Oh, the parallel universes.
Right, that's us done then. That is the saying of us done. Folks, I am fucking
We're gonna be after show party.
Aye, why not? Let's go.
Why not?
I've got a bottle of mezcal downstairs and under 10 football back tomorrow morning. That's fucking let it rip. Let's go.
Listen, can I just tell? See before we cut, right? I wasn't going to say it, but I'm just going to say it now. My beloved wife Linda went away on a wee Christmas trip where there she's sitting there looking at me laughing. She went away on a wee Christmas trip, as she always does every year. We are 3 pals for work, right? So they were away to Edinburgh. So I dropped her off at the station at 12 the day. So she heads up there. The lassies were going on to Motherwell. She going to Wishaw. They were going to Edinburgh. So she had a wee bottle of wine and that. They've headed up. So they've booked into a swanky hotel. Going to live it up. So Ellie's away. She's finished work. She's went to the fort or whatever, doing some Christmas shopping. And it's just me and the toff. Rory's he was staying at his girlfriend's. He's back shifting, but she's not coming here. So it's me and the toff in the house. So Ellie's come in at, 9:30, and I'm on this podcast. She's like to me, "Has Mum phoned you?" I'm like, "No." So she's like, "Oh, she fucking." So I had to pick using mute, and she's like, "Mum's phoned us. One of her pals, there's 4 of them, right? One of her pals has fell and burst her nose."
Oh no!
And like, fucking. So obviously she's cowed with the bed,
Oh, no.
right? So she was actually travelling home the night, the lassie who'd done that. And Linda and the other 2 were staying in the swanky hotel. So Linda, being the perfect martyr that she is, she decided that that lassie can't travel home the train herself. She says she's definitely broke her nose and she's got fucking her face is a mess.
Oh.
So Linda ended up coming home there. And Ellie went.
The fucking celicultures are fucking dangerous.
So Ellie went and picked her up. And she's like, "I thought I'd been me in Haymarket last Saturday night, but that seemed to be all right." But anyway, Linda's sitting on the couch now. Swanky hotel in Edinburgh's got a spare bed.
What we've learned is Linda's mates are fucking wild there.
No, what we've learned is 2 of Linda's mates are arseholes, and Linda's the only decent one that brought her down the road.
Well, we didn't that lesson. I mean, we always knew Linda was, the gem among.
There you go. Fair play.
Right, Joe. This be fucking.
But see, here's the thing: you haven't sat at that table, Scott. You haven't sat at the Higgins dinner table. I mean, J-Bo cooks a good gravy, but Linda brings the love.
Fair play, I'm very proud of you. I'm glad she done it. She's.
I haven't sat at that table. I just know that you've got a fucking bad habit of getting into stupid analogies. And you might get
I know. But this is why the podcast is popular, because of the pace I talk. Right? And that's us done, right? Let's go and drink mezcal for the next hour and a half until I pass it.
Yeah, I'm not 10 minutes.
So you've been gone for the last hour and a half, by the way. You're going to just come back in the pod.
Hold on.
Wrap it up the fuck. Right, folks.
Wrap it up.
By the way, predictions for the
Wrap
war.
it up the fuck.
By the way, see before we go, see Celtic -2 goals, it's 45. I'm not encouraging betting, but if you've got Christmas money for your kids and all that, get it on it.
I'm not encouraging betting, but thanks to our new sponsor.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Jason Higgins, Gamblers Anonymous. Fucking go on it.
What's the odds? 4 to 5?
45. Celtic -2 goals. Nick McGuinness actually posted it for Magoo, which is fucking bad news. Here's the hang, right? He's a fucking rocket, right? Seen the way out of Tynecastle. He's walking out and he had the car out for us, and he's like, he's after betting, right? But he gets his mates to put bets on for him now because he's cancelled all his betting accounts. And I don't know how much, hundreds or whatever he'd put on. But he says he'd tell one in to put a bet on, tell another one because he thought he hadn't done it. And both of them had put it on at half time for Celtic to win by more than 2 goals, and both of them put it on. And he fucking said, I don't know, it was in the 4 figures where he'd won. The high 4 figures. So,
Do you know what? That's grand.
Aye, it was grand. Aye, definitely grand.
That's us done. Folks, We'll talk to you next week, and who knows what kind of shit we'll talk.
God bless the Celtic.
Yeah.
We are the best team in Glasgow.